Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, I got a lot of the hellos done, but a couple of them I missed at the end there was easy. Good evening to you. And off grid with Dave and Sonia. Hey, I do not know this, and I apologize for not knowing this, Dave and Sonia, but I need to look it up. I'm going to look up your channel real quick, if I can here. Make sure that.
Well, welcome.
Yeah, welcome. I'm a big believer in off grid. There it is. I was not subscribed. Shame on me.
So
Why I'm a new
14-foot converted cargo trailer. We got overhead storage.
Shouldn't have played the video, huh? So off grid with Dave and Sonia. I am your newest subscriber, and welcome from Michigan. Hey, Silver Thread, how are you? Songs of Joy, hello. Deborah Calvert, hello. We're doing good. Cul-de-sac, hello, hello, hello. Drummondson Live, biodegradable. Let me see here. I'm not sure what we're talking about. Oh, Half Bubble Off Plum says prayers for safe travels for my youngest. He's on his way back from Florida to Nevada, hoping to hit the Texas border by tonight. In Gallup, New Mexico, currently. Yeah, everybody send prayers out. No doubt, no doubt. Safe travels. RN, hello. How are you? Goodness, Wendy, hello. Nova Scotia.
Oh.
Yeah, we have quite a few people who come in here from Canada. You know, of course, the famous Terminator, right? Eagle Lover. Hey, Eagle Lover's here.
Hey, yeah.
Eagle Lover, it's really great to see you in here. You know, we've me and B have talked about you a lot, and I know you know, you kind of went through your own, you know, shit hit the fan for there a little bit, and so anyway, I'm super glad you're here, and I know that we've communicated along the way, and so I knew you were okay, but I'm super glad that you're here. Joint Hair, hello, good evening. Horse Range Mountain Farm, how are you? Let me see. Cindy, good evening to you. Mrs. Hacks, the Hacks are in the house. Yeah, hey, I'm on a middle. Yeah, Eagle Lover says thanks. Yes, shit hits the fan. Yeah, well, you know what? There's not, you know, a lot of people prepare for the shit hits the fan, but the truth is there's a lot of little ones along. I want to say little, right? That's not little. I don't mean to downplay that, but what I mean is not world ending, not
right,
civilization ending. But we got to prepare for those things too.
Yeah, still devastating.
Still devastating. Yeah. What I was going to say was about Mrs. Hacks. So her husband and I spent some time together this week. So we found a mini excavator, and that ran when they parked it, but there's something wrong with the drive gears. And so we're trying to figure out a plan where we can, between the resources of the homestead, put together a group repair and end up with a mini excavator. And so Mr. Hacks and I have been working on that a little bit lately. Jules, good evening to you. Rick from Maine, hello. Tamarack, hello. So Tamarack is fairly new here. Tamarack comes from the Anyone Can Farm experience over. So we're super glad you're here. Glenn here, good evening. Country for Shore.
For sure.
Yeah, I wonder if shore wasn't, if they, country for shore, you don't be specific, but do you live by the shore? Just curious. Let me see here. Miley, hello. Oh, so Miley says, hello to all. Good news. My pond is full.
Yes.
We appreciate the excitement in that.
That is wonderful.
Yeah. I watch my ponds all the time going, please fill, please fill,
yes,
please fill.
Going down.
Yep. Amelia's here from Portland, Oregon. Good evening. Amy B, how's the chicken doing? Oh, we got a story about that. So, B Dahmer over here.
No, she was doing so well. And then this morning I found her not so well. And I don't know what happened. She was quarantined with a friend, and she was just in a crouched down position when I found her, just stiff as a board.
Yeah, you could say it dead. Yeah. So Amy B, she didn't make it, but I'll tell you, B, once B found out that she didn't make it, she says to me, she says, Tag, I rubbed so much on that girl's leg.
And her foot was looking so much better. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, she was walking, just kind of
Yeah.
hobbling around just fine last night. So this morning I found her not so well.
Yeah. Yeah. Tamarack says, thank you for sharing your ideas. Oh, of course. We love to talk freedom. Freedom is the best topic there is. Cul-de-sac says full ponds are beautiful for so many reasons. Well, they're beautiful and they're resourceful, right? You get water out of them. You get, protein out of them, and then you get recreation. I can't wait to get back in the pond swimming and, having fun. I love doing that.
Well, and you get to see all the animals come up and gather around it too. There was a whole flock of turkeys on the other side that I was sitting there watching.
Yeah. Hey, Dog Creek Farms in here. We did, there was a video that came out this week where we interviewed Dog Creek Farm, and he inspired me. And I don't even know if he knew that he did it, but the hurdles that he went through to get free and to be a free man are incredible and should absolutely be saluted. And I don't know how many people Dog Creek know what it takes to do that, but I do know. And hats off to you, buddy. Absolutely hats off. Big Kid says, tag, my pond's about 12 feet of water in it. The problem is it's not even half done. Yeah.
Eek.
Yeah, I bet you our pond's probably down 6 feet.
Yeah,
the big pond.
Not done and it's filling up.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
Oh, yeah.
When we were like, hold off.
Yep. Porterhouse and Teal is here. Hey, Porterhouse, that is a great channel. I love listening to him, and he's made us better in several ways. And so I just can't say enough about him. I'll tell you guys a little story about Porterhouse, and he probably don't want me to tell the story, but I really don't care. But so when I went and spoke at the Self-Reliance Festival, I was there just not very long, and he came up to me and we just started chit-chatting, and we just hit it off. And he's a really good guy, and we think somewhat alike, and he's so smart, just so smart. And tracking down water on his farm, and he's just had a lot of burying pork chops in his mulch so the chickens tear it up. I mean, just some really good stuff. And I would encourage everybody to go over there to Porterhouse and Teal and check out that channel. He's a super guy, and I hope to see you at the Self-Reliance Festival so we can hang out again. I'd love to do that.
And Teal's coming along with her getting on the videos too.
I know, right? Which is how cool is that? And so super cool. Eagle Lover says sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Yep. Leela. Hey, good evening to you. Now, was it Leela on The Fifth Element? Was that her name? Or Lilu? Lilu in The Fifth Element. Okay, I was close. Let me see. Hey, Prep for the Eternal Homestead. Hello. Actually, I think I said hello already, but hello twice. Get down here. Sorry, guys. It just blows by me, and then I miss all kinds of people, and then I feel bad. ACM, good evening to you. Scanes Girl, good evening. I have a story for you, Scanes Girl.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, right. Porterhouse says that was a good interview with Dog Creek. I need to subscribe to that dude. Yeah, guys, anybody who's willing to put it all on the line to chase freedom.
Yeah.
I'm literally put it all on the line. I mean, support them. Absolutely support them. Rain Country says multipass. Hey, Rain Country, good evening to you guys. Hey, Rain Country, I got to tell you something. So I was watching, I only caught the tail end of the Grumpy Acres conversation with Bobby about men being men. But I have to tell you, I was super impressed with a lot of the things you said in there. And, you and B would line up really, really well. But I'm glad you're back for sure.
I like watching her.
Yeah. Let's talk about smart.
Well, yeah.
Right. I mean, there's brains on top of brains
and
there.
There's a lot of things that I watch and I'm just like, I could do that.
Yeah.
Things that and recipes, I'm just like, I can do that. I've never even heard of that. I can totally do that.
Yeah. Hey, Porterhouse says, Teal just booked my flight tonight. I'll see you at the Self-Reliance Festival.
There you go.
All right, bud. Good. Hey, let me know. Actually, I think I already know the answers because I'm going to say, let me know where you're staying, but I think I already know this. I talked to Bobby. Anyway, if that all works out, I think that'll work out great. We'll have some good time hanging out, and that'll be just fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Dana Green, good evening to you. Let me see. Hippocrates says, just had a thought for a t-shirt, just a bigger trigger on it. Just a big trigger on it, since so many shirts seem to trigger people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Aren says, hello, Tag. I actually got my wife's clothesline and porch swing, actually a yard swing, both put up this week. only after having her wait about 3 years.
I bet she loves them.
Yeah, I tell B all the time, that I'll get to it. You don't have to remind me every 6 months. I'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you find it as funny.
It
as
is not funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wouldn't nag so much if you just do it.
Right. Well, ain't that the truth? So, Skanes girl, I want to tell you my story about you because you impacted our life this week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm almost mad at her. No, I'm just teasing.
Yeah. You could be mad
I
at her.
was like, oh.
Yeah. So B spent an entire day over in Pod 4 sanding the ceiling in our bedroom, right? Because if you guys remember, I had put the first coat of mud on. And so then what happens is she goes in and sands it, puts the second coat of mud on, and then she kind of just takes it over, from there. And she does the finish work. Then I'll come back in and texture it. And then again, she'll take over after that. But anyway, so she spent the whole day on the scaffolding with her arms up in the air. And I went in and checked on her a couple times. She's just covered in drywall dust, wearing a big old respirator on her face. And, later on in the evening after she was in, you could tell, that she was favoring her shoulders and, didn't want to lift her arms up too bad.
I didn't even want to talk.
Yeah. She wasn't in the greatest mood.
I was just like holding my own arms.
And what did you say about Skanes girl? Do you remember the words?
No. Which part?
Yeah, you were talking about Skanes girl, what she said about her job, because she was trying to get ready for
her
brother, right?
And she said that she'd spend 18 hours
working,
and then she was exhausted. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So anyway, B was thinking about you, Skanes girl, and thinking that you two were in, misery together at the exact same time.
I was like, if she can go and spend 18 hours working hard like that, I can do that too.
Yeah.
And a day's worth of,
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, oh man, I hurt so bad.
Yeah,
I'm not as young as I used to be.
No, but you're as beautiful as you ever were.
Oh,
look at that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't believe no one's asked for tiramisu. Because this will be a good time, right? You get on a peak. Guys, this is business.
Is that the kiss, slap, kiss?
Yeah, no. This is business advice for you guys. Okay? Always negotiate from a peak. Baby, you're as beautiful as you ever were.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Rain Country says that, I had to wait 15 years for Patrick to finally finish my kitchen cabinets.
Wow.
What I would like to know, Rain Country, is how many wonderful, amazing things did he complete in those 15 years?
Those are some dang good cabinets.
Randy, good evening to you. Babe, it's all I had. I've tried. Terminator says, I cut 2 trees up with my handheld saw before the snow came. I'm kind of out of wood, so I've been cutting and hauling with my fancy sled. Oh, pretty cool. Oops.
That's hard work.
Yep. The Philippine Nomad says, good evening, Tag and B, and everyone that wants and needs to live free. Mike Locally. Yeah. Guys, living free, there's not a bigger quest that we can be on. I'm going to talk about some of that tonight because I've taken some heat lately, and the heat actually just encourages me to continue pressing on. But I want to clear up a couple points because, again, I took some heat, but I'll get there. Andrew Adams, good evening. Cletus, good evening to you too. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can use a damp sponge instead of sanding to smooth the prep dough. He's talking about sanding the ceiling. Yeah. The problem is then you deal with the mud. So it's the dust or the mud, right? Because when you put water on mud and then, as you wipe it down, it becomes gunky, but I don't get in the middle of it because as soon as I go in there and say, why don't you try this? She'll say, you want to do it?
Yeah.
So I just try.
Well, and some of it was like on there somewhat thicker than what I would have put on there. And so I had to use the Milwaukee sander for, just a tiny bit, because if you use that too much, then you're going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I think I got enough of it done that I can go in and put another coat on it and it'll be ready for texture.
Yep. The beautiful, magical Bird's Eye View Homestead says you are building those sanding muscles.
Oh, I can't even flex them. They still do not feel very good.
Oh no. Dee Marie says, did I hear squash soup?
Yes.
No.
D.
No, D.
Yes.
D. Settle down. D.
Tiramisu squash.
Yeah, Eagle Lover says, I can relate to soreness and aches after 2 days of cleanup. Thankfully, I had help.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, Eagle Lover, Texas, her community was hit with a tornado this last week. And although her, from at least the way that I understand it, and Eagle Lover, feel free to correct any of this, her house had damage but was spared, but the neighbors was completely wiped out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and she lost her greenhouses, and she lost so much that she had worked so hard to put in. But this is why we prepare, right? This is why we do it, is not just for bad things, but for good things, for everything.
Yeah.
And thankfully, and I know this of Eagle Lover, thankfully we know that she's prepared, and we know that she is going to be able to withstand a lot better than a lot of people because she was, prepared. But Eagle Lover, if there's anything we can do, if anything that the freesteading community can do, you let me know, and we'll do everything we can to help. And if I was closer, I'd come help you clean up too. Yeah. Skanes Girl says, laugh out loud beat. I was whooped for a couple of days.
Yeah. I'm still wincing.
Yeah. Hey, LJC is here. Hello, my good friend. Yeah, I'm going to see you before long.
Yeah. Well, part of her.
Yeah.
She's not coming, right?
What's that? Yes, she is.
Both of them?
Yes. Well,
Oh.
at different times though.
Oh, okay.
But pretty close together.
Okay.
But I don't want to give up too much because that's for her to.
Yeah.
Right. Tamara Smith says, where does she live? So Eagle Lover, Texas. If you want to say in the chat here where you live, you're welcome to. Tamara Smith, though, what you can do is you can go on Freesteading, and Eagle Lover, Texas is on there under the same name, and you can connect and talk. But I don't want to give up anybody's too much personal information, here, because I just don't know what they're comfortable with. If it was me, I'd just tell you where I lived. But Nowhere Homestead. Hey, good evening, bud. How are you? Jules says, sorry, my internet is causing severe issues. Let me see, what was that about Eagle Lover, Texas? Yeah, so her community got hit with a tornado, Jules. Okay, so she says far southeast Houston, not Pasadena.
Pasadena.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Eagle Lover, we sent out prayers for you on Freesteading, and then me and B as well, and, trying to keep an eye out for you. And, I wish that, there's something you can do, when you have people in your life, you want to help them, but being all the way away, they're, it's just so hard,
We are glad that you are okay.
Yeah, we are super glad. Let me see here. Amy B says, after the Christmas cold snap, I am ready for the early spring. My husband bought more seeds today. Yeah. I don't know if I'm ready or not. Last year was a hard gardening year with the heat and, all the things we had to do. But
we're still eating squash. And potatoes.
God.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hey, One Step Closer here. One Step Closer is the brains behind the UGS calculator, the guy that actually put it together, and has been an incredible resource. And I'm going to see him at the Self-Reliance Festival too. And I believe I'm going to get lucky enough to see his family as well.
Oh, wow.
Country for Shore says Shore is our last name. Okay, cool.
Oh, there you go.
Cool. Yep. Indiana Mike. Oh, I like the new
picture.
Yeah, the new picture. That's pretty cool. Yeah, all the way from Houston to Orange. DeMarie, good one, B. Yeah. Yeah, B squash and cheese soup is awesome. What is up with the squash soup stuff?
It's good.
Yeah, until you eat it 17 days in a row.
I have not made you squash soup, so I will try that. It might be the one thing that you're going to be like, wow, I really like that.
It might be. And if I don't like it, it's just because I haven't tried it hard enough.
Yeah.
It's just the most ridiculous saying ever.
It's just whatever you put your mind to. You get to choose.
Yeah, don't even use that shit.
You choose, tag.
Yeah, don't even try that.
Those are your words.
Don't even try that. You can't use my words against me.
Yes, I can. We're a team.
Nowhere Homestead says getting started on the framing of the new chicken coop tomorrow. Oh, congratulations.
Good.
Yep. Squash soup and beef bone broth and heavy cream is great, says One Step Closer. Yep, I liked One Step Closer a lot more before he mentioned squash.
Yeah, but he put beef in it.
Joint Harris says chunky or smooth soup tag. Chunky.
Chunky.
Not even close.
Like thick and chunky?
The thicker and the chunkier it is, the better it is. Yeah, let me see here. The Copycat Panera Autumn squash soup recipes are good.
Oh.
You see baked root veggies, beets, rutabaga, squash, carrots are delicious. Mrs. Hack says, I'm out of squash. We'll get with you for a trade. Deal.
For like zucchini.
Actually, I like zucchini better than I like squash. So that's a deal.
Or Brussels sprouts?
No, not that. Let me see here. I don't know where I'm at. So let me see. Tamara says they are saying that backyard eggs cause blood clots now. I'm working on some fried blood clots fried up in butter.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot going on with that.
I heard that you're supposed to not let your birds out of their pens or coops or whatever because of the flu that's going around. So everybody, keep your birds locked up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. D. Marie says it's going to be -15 tomorrow. I think I'll can taco meat. That's a great job.
Oh.
B. I'm dreading having to redo the curtain ceiling hooks with a ratchet and screwdriver. I was using both arms, holding up one elbow with the other hand.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. I don't see what's so hard about that.
Yeah. Holding up the elbow with the other hand.
Babe, I hang 4x8 sheets of plywood on the ceiling by myself.
But
I mean,
you're stronger than I am.
Well, maybe if you did it more, I wouldn't be.
No, you don't want Arnold Schwarzenegger wife, do you?
Say it. I'll be back.
Yeah. Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah. I have a serious question. Okay, Eagle Lover. I have had to dig up my garlic and onions for repairs. Will it kill them to put them in pots for 2 days and then put them back in the bed? No. From what I understand, B, you can answer this. The garlic and onions are pretty tough.
I've never dug them up and then replanted them though.
Yeah, but if you think about it, when you buy seed,
I mean, I've dug up onions and cut half of them off and put them in water, and they still grow. So,
oh, look at this. One step closer says B is just trying to maximize the back end money by using squash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, using my own words against me.
I'm up in my score.
Yeah.
Yours too, buddy.
Yeah. So you're increasing my ungovernable score by feeding me squash?
Yeah. Because I grew it. We don't have to buy it.
We can grow other things. You don't have
but I don't have it. I mean, I can grow other things, but I'm using what I have now. I'm stretching that dollar. Yeah.
You guys.
Thank you.
Chicken wire on coops protects them just like they said masks would protect us. I like that. Horse Range Mountain Farm, another great channel, says we grow our own eggs, but we were in the store today and they were almost out. Eggs were $10 a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
They were at our Walmart. They were $6 a dozen.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Big Kid says, Eagle Lover, just try to get as much fruit as you can, and I'd skip potting and leave them sort of bare root wrapped in a damp paper. That's a good idea. Or a paper towel in the dark. Take plenty of soil under the garlic. Amy is saying to Eagle Lover, and it should be okay. How tall are the plants? Yeah. Rain Country says, yeah, they're pretty tough. You can leave them out for days just on top of the soil and they will still grow. Yep. Great advice. Hey, Frank, good evening to you. Good evening, Glenn. Tag, I'm curious about your opinion on homeowners insurance. Worth it? Or just prepare and insure yourself? I have it, but struggling with myself whether to keep it or not. What a great topic.
I've heard you talk about this.
Yes, we have talked about this. So first, I'll tell you what I do before I give you my advice, because I don't think it's fair to give you advice and then not be living my own advice. You know what I'm saying? So as you guys know, I come from the insurance business. And so I understand insurance really, really well. And I do keep homeowners insurance because, let me back up. So I don't insure my skid loader, for example. I don't insure my UTVs are not insured. I self-insure anything that I feel like I could strike at, $10,000 or $20,000 and be able to replace. My house is a whole nother thing, being able to come up with, the several $100,000 it would take to put it all back together is a little more daunting for me. So for today, I keep it, but I'll tell you, I mean, it's all the time me and B are talking, and I'm tempted, because I've had one $600 claim when I was a young guy.
Yeah,
and,
way before me.
Yeah, long time ago. And then we had a big storm come through with hail. And I
That
had,
was a catastrophe
yeah,
claim,
it was
though.
the whole neighborhood, so it didn't go on my insurance. But those are the only 2 claims I've had in my whole life, and yet I've been paying homeowners insurance for 30 years.
Yeah.
You know, so my understanding is that arms are not their strong. Arms are not their strength. Their legs are their strength. Yeah, there's some truth in that. B can kick really hard if she wants to.
Yeah.
Hey, Jonathan's here a week later, and I'm still complaining about squash, huh?
There you go, Jonathan. See? Yeah.
You know, I don't know why you guys have to encourage her to torture me.
I'm not torturing you. I'm feeding you. I'm loving you.
Oh, that's what
Just
that's called?
eat it.
Yeah. You see, Amish are still selling eggs for $3.25 a dozen there from Indiana Mike. I agree. As long as they are damp, they should be fine. Yep. Make squash muffins just like pumpkin muffins. Delicious.
Oh,
I would try that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eagle Lover says, thank goodness I have insurance.
I'm going to write that one down.
Yeah.
Have a piece of paper?
Yeah.
Muffins.
Yeah. I think Eagle Lover makes a really good point, that thank goodness she had insurance when, a tornado came through. Right.
Yeah. That's what we talk about, the catastrophe.
Yeah. When our house insurance would not step up when we finally needed it after paying it for 30 years, we finally quit.
There's no pages in here that are empty.
There's one right there.
I just had to go to the very back.
Well, let me see. Rain Country says when our house insurance would not step up when we finally needed it after paying it for 30 years, we finally quit. Yeah. And again, this is a rub that Rain Country, we go through all the time trying to figure it out, and she also says, to be fair, it was not Tag or B that brought up the squash. Yeah. Yeah. But somehow I got to eat it. Yeah. Be nice to B or you will have to deal with all of us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, Tambra, you all toughy now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Together, we're going to yoke up. We're stronger together.
Yeah.
And you will eat it.
And you like it. We keep Horse Range Mountain Farm says we keep homeowners. It came in handy twice. Basement completely flooded from a broken pipe right after we finished it, and a new roof from a hail damage. Yeah. Oren says we live in Tornado Alley. No house insurance is really not an option. Best insurance should be to own true assets. Your land, your livestock, your crops, power, etc. People. Philippine Nomad, I 100% agree with you. And I do that. I own everything I have. I don't have any debt. But again, coming up with the capital to replace a house would be rough, in my opinion. There's a fellow on YouTube, Homegrown Vegetable is his channel name, and he has the best videos on growing in containers if you have small spaces. Cool. Dingby, you sound like me. I'm always running short of pages in my notepads. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so I think I'm fairly caught up, at least for the moment.
Did you need that notepad?
No, I got mine. No. You're okay. So guys, a couple of look at laundry items. So I'm going to do a live on Monday because I had an opportunity to spend some time. I'm going to have an opportunity to spend some time with Tia, Tia is the main, driving force behind the Next Step convention that I'm speaking at in February.
Yes.
And so I'm really looking forward to this. What attracted me to this so much was it's about creating the counterculture and creating the counter society. And she's lived it as a journalist, and as some of her actions that she's done to protect kids and some of these things. So we're going to have a good conversation about the conference, but really more about her journey. And so I agreed to do a live with her on Monday at 7:00. So just so you guys know.
Does she have a YouTube channel?
No, not that I'm aware of. I have not seen one, at least. So, okay, let me catch back up again real quick. Your big kid said, once you're far enough under the radar insurance, it's real hard to get. We haven't had anything but auto insurance in 15 years. Yeah, Gypsy 19, hey, how are you guys? Says debt-free is by far the best. Yep, I could not agree more. Unfortunately, with my mortgage company, need to keep house insurance. Yeah, if you have a mortgage, you do. Yep, they never pay for any damage on the house. Yeah. Every time bad weather comes along, I ask the good Lord to take me too if he takes my house. Yeah, because I just couldn't imagine having to go through this all again. We could do it.
Yeah.
But
if it took a house, I'd still want to be around.
Yeah. Yeah, but it would certainly be a lot.
It would be a lot.
Yeah.
And we've put so many hours into this place that, I remember my very first house, and you were there, and you said you could save money if you did your own cabinets. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll to buy them unfinished and make them the way that I wanted.
Mhm.
And so you kind of walked me through it, and this is what you got to do. Okay, I'll be back. And I was like sanding it and polyurethaning, staining first, and then sanding, and then staining and sanding, and polyurethaning and sanding, and then polyurethane. And I was like, I will never do this again. And then he talked me into building a house. And then this time I said, I'll just paint the cabinets. I'm not going to polyurethane them and stain them and sand them. And now I'm sanding drywall on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Which is a whole lot harder.
Yeah, but look at how much ground you made.
I'm making ground.
Right. And if you know.
And I love the house. I love this house.
Yeah.
It is not what I had envisioned when we said we were going to build a house.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the location that we had talked about, but
it's yours.
It is mine.
You own
and
it.
We've done what we could with what we had.
Yep.
And then we just keep adding on.
Yeah. Right. Let me see. Sylvia, I think was the last one I was at, says, I'm now debt free. Congratulations. And it's been much more better. Yeah, a whole lot better. No stresses. Yep.
Yes.
Tamara says, you all have each other. I just have my animals. Yeah. And having B does make it easier. Tag, no mortgage on the house, just on the land. The house doesn't officially exist. That's even better.
Yeah.
Horse Range Mountain Farm. By the way, guys, if you guys haven't, go over and check out their channel. Very like-minded, and are doing it themselves, just like we've been trying to, It has taken us 3 years to build our house. It would really stink to have to start over. Yeah, I would need at least a day off before I started again, because, man, to break down the word, seriously. Let me see, ABB says, to break down the word mortgage into its Latin roots, mort and gauge, means to choke to death.
Oof.
Well, that's kind of true. Sylvia,
wow.
Cul-de-sac says, my goal is 29 more months. Yeah, keep counting them down. Yeah, Tamara says her animals are her family, though. I couldn't afford house insurance. So, yes, when I lost the house, I did have to start all over. But that's okay. I'm still and going. And today, I still can't afford house insurance. It's just an expense. Yeah. Like I said, I'm really on the fence on it. I mean, there's part of me wants to just let it go because you just spend it. And they penalize you if you use it. And even if you use it, you're never going to get out of it what you insured it, But at the same time, it would be some of it, even if it was half of it. It's a lot. It's just
ouch. But if you took that money, sometimes you take that money and just shoebox it away, you could maybe come up with enough to, depending upon how many years you're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sylvia says, you can do it, Cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac, you can absolutely do it. It's just a commitment. It's all it is. I'm going to talk a lot about this when I get down to Georgia.
Yeah.
Horse Range Mountain Farm says, thanks for the shout out. Oh, of course. LJC says, B, what house did you envision?
We talked about a square house that was like the main house was a square with a wraparound kind of porch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that the main area would be in the center with the biggest stove, and then you could like it was an open concept.
Mm-hmm.
And then still having kind of pods for the children, for our kids, but it was more open to
Mm-hmm.
where what we have now is not. We have we have pods.
I cut a hole in the wall so you could see from the kitchen to the living room.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be the stove was supposed to be in the middle, so it would heat. Right now, that one stove heats one pod,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another stove that heats
Two pods.
another, and so one stove was supposed to heat more area, I guess, because that kitchen stove, the Kitchen Queen, that produces a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm.
There are times when the kitchen is 90 degrees or 99 degrees.
Yeah, so do you remember why it ended up the way it ended up?
Because of you. What do you mean? It's all your fault. We had so when we started this building, I guess, this was supposed to be a place to park the skid loader because the skid loader could not sit outside. It had to have its own house. And so he had gotten a Quonset building for $500. And he's like, hey, this is a great buy. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's $500 for a building. And then we had to pour concrete under it. So we poured it 20 by 30, which was the size of the Quonset building. It was 22 feet high and 20 by 30 was the building. And it was just to park the skid loader and a place to put equipment so it didn't get stolen because we were not out here all the time. And then we had put, so you went and put some of the Quonset building up, like 6 runs, and then decided that you didn't want to do that anymore after 28 hours of man work, 28 man hours. You were like, this isn't working. Was it? It was more than that.
I'm just listening to your story.
He got to the point where he was like, this is not working. And so you called me and said, let's just put a stick building up because I can get a stick building for $4,000 and get all the stuff we needed for $4,000. And I said, $4,000. We'd already spent $500. And he says, oh, we can use that for something else. I said, okay, fine. And he goes, good, because I've already done it. I've already ripped it down off of the concrete. And I'm like, what do you mean you ripped down the building? And you said, I just tied a rope to it and yanked it down with the skid loader. And I was okay, well, I guess we're going with the stick built building. So again, this was just a place to park the skid loader because the house was supposed to be on the bigger clearing over there and where you could see the pond where the pond was supposed to go, which then changed, opened up. So I envisioned our building on the other clearing, and it was a square, not 2-story, 1-story, 3-story, 1-story.
Rain Country says, I was thinking the other day about the whole open concept, and it dawned on me that it would be more difficult to block off smaller areas to stay warm if and when one needed to conserve heat.
That is true. That is so true. Because we could close off the majority of the house.
All right. So let me tell you guys really what happened. Okay. Because her memory of how it happened clearly come through the eyes of B, which, anybody that knows B will know that it's, vacation land. And so
it was cotton candies.
It was all cotton candies.
With some rainbows in there.
Yeah. So you missed a big part of that story. Okay. So we built the building pod 1 to house the skid loader and the tools and to be a small apartment where we could work out here as we built our house. This is true. And then the county came in and said, that is way too nice of building. We're going to tax that as a residence.
It had house windows.
And it had house windows in it. And so right about that same time,
yes,
the CEO of my company said, go mandate the vaccine. And I said, no. And so we were forced into a spot where we were going to have to move. And it was coming quick. And so I had poured the concrete for pod 2 and 3, but we hadn't had much of it built. And so now it was a mad rush to get out here. And so I added a living room onto pod 1, because in pod 1, there's just a kitchen, a bathroom, and 2 bedrooms. But that would have been our apartment plus where the skid loader and all my tools are. And so boom, just added a living room so that we'd have a place to live, and then a washing machine and those kind of things. And then from there, I'm already that far. Might as well just keep going. So I think it's I think you forgot the whole work thing.
Well, that played a role in the middle, but in the beginning when, this was just supposed to be a place to park the skid loader, and I remember the neighbor, he was over here haying, and he stopped and he said, man, you guys are really getting on that. And I said, yeah, we are. And he said, you just wait. You're going to put so much work into that building that you'll never build your other house.
I did say that.
I said, no way. That is not going to happen. Our house is going on the other clearing so we can see the pond.
Well, the good news is you can see the pond.
Yes, but
I moved it.
Yes. And it went from $18,000 to $30,000 to get that move just ever so slightly to
Does that show you how much I love you? How important
Was
your
that
view?
because of me?
Was we on
That was not because of me.
your view. Oh, you crushed my heart.
You're the pond guy. You're the, hey, let's go jump in the dirty water.
Oh my goodness. Okay, where are we at here? Let me see. I got to catch up here, and I'm sure I missed a lot, guys. If I did,
yeah.
I apologize.
For sure, because you're lollygagging.
Yep, Rain Gun. She says yes. Good insulation does make a difference. Makes a
Yes.
huge difference. LJC says thanks. I love hearing why folks build what they build. I really like the idea of a square house, but I have read that the roof gets more complicated and expensive. I still want to see Mrs. Hack's house. Yep. You know what the thing is though, LJC, I'm pretty familiar with this whole thing. A square house is fine, right? I mean, it really has to do with what kind of roof do you put on it? You know, do you put a gable roof on it or a hip roof on it? You know, do you put dormers in it? You know, I mean, there's just all of these kind of things that dictate a lot of the cost. But just a square gable roof isn't expensive as compared to any other roof.
I remember too thinking that I wanted a crow's nest bedroom, and then now we're going up and down stairs. I'm like, thank God I don't have to go up and down the 2 flights.
Yeah, I can't wait to have
to go to the
bedroom on the first floor.
bathroom because, sheesh, that gets old.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate that. The one thing I don't like about the way we live now is I got to, in the middle of the night, if you got to go pee, you got to get up and go downstairs.
Yeah. Or to check the fire, or
right.
to let the dogs out,
Right.
or to whatever.
Right. But Pod 4 is going to fix this. That puts
Yeah.
the master bedroom on the
Yes.
the bottom. Cul-de-sac says, Tag and B, what is your advice to us older single laders? No way I can manage more than a few acres. Then don't buy more than a few acres. I mean, I think at the end of the day, homesteading, this term is used. I really am not very fond of it just because of the way it's described what we do. The fact of the matter is I prefer the word freesteading, which is why we called it freesteading.
Yeah.
Which is really about challenging the system to be as dependent as you can on yourself with what you have. And so I think there's nothing wrong to build a homestead on a few acres or a half an acre or a quarter acre. I mean, Jonathan's in here tonight, and Jonathan is a gardening machine on a very small piece of land. And I was like, super, super, super impressed, with it. So, don't let that discourage you, cul-de-sac. And you know what? Find, 4 other single ladies that, you guys want to split a 20, right? And put 5 little ones, 5 acre farms there. That's plenty of land.
Yeah.
I mean, because the fact,
or you could do community gardens with
could.
your, people around you, so that you're sharing the workload of growing your food or to processing your food. Because it is, when you're a single person, you have less food that you have to come up with.
Yeah.
But then the whole load is on you.
Right.
So if you can yoke up with others in the area that you can share those responsibilities with, then it would help.
Let me see here. Victoria Johnson says, any thoughts on a greenhouse attached to one whole wall of your house?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. On our south side of our house is a greenhouse that B is in. Now, let me see. I got to go back up here a minute because I believe Mrs. Hacks was talking shit up here. Talking crap up here. Mrs. Hacks says, be a good thing for muck boots because Tag is sure talking a good game.
She's saying you're full of it.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind.
She's-
Bird's Eye View says our house is going to be a 1-story rectangle. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the easiest ways to build. Primarily a rectangle because the way the trusses, you end up with smaller trusses, which are cheaper versus a square, right? Which is bigger, but the
You're
cost is
spanning
not a
more.
huge difference. Yeah. Yeah. Tamara Smith says she's tank on freesteading.
Tank. Okay.
Yep. I like alternative housing like straw bales. Yeah, the thing that Tamarack that I don't like about the straw bale thing, that's not fair to say. Not that I don't like, that I'm concerned about the moisture. Moisture getting built up. If you don't do it exactly right, and you don't get it sealed exactly right, I feel like there's not a lot of room for error. And in the land of having to do everything yourself, and we can't be an expert on everything, right? That would be my concern.
Yeah.
About that.
And you don't want to live in a moldy environment.
Yeah, Horse Range Mountain Farm said, I'd be careful putting a greenhouse onto my house due to the moisture. Yeah, so what we did, Horse Range Mountain Farm, is so I built the wall, right, that I was going to attach the greenhouse to. And then I went in and put layers of things like concrete, to kind of stop some of that moisture because I was concerned about the same thing. We've had no problems with it.
We've also got solar fans, and we've got windows. So like on the south side of our house, we have one window that goes into the greenhouse and then one window that's on the outside of the greenhouse.
Yeah.
So we can push air in and out
Yeah.
through into the house or out of the house.
Yes. Yep. One more rock said, just jumped on. Tag, I love your shirt. Yep. Yoke Up. This is actually from American Roots, which is a YouTube channel out there, and they kind of coined the term, but the terms now kind of become lore, kind of in the whole, homesteading, kind of community. And so, yeah, it came from them. Yeah. Sylvia says she's on an acre. Yep, exactly. Okay. Miss Rinka. Oh, yes. And our chickens are on this piece too, along with Patrick's 1,200 square foot shop. We started it all right where we were already established.
Oh, one up. She says they were in a quarter or a third of an acre place in a neighborhood.
Oh, did I miss one? I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm sorry. They just blow right by. Let me see. All of our gardening is on our shy 1/3 acre piece in a neighborhood. We have acquired 2 other pieces of land, but that is not where we are growing anything other than blackberries that grow wild.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that too. And thanks for reminding me, Rain Country, is that, and to those people who are talking about homesteading on small acreage, we have a 40 acre lot here, but we really, what we really work on is about 5 acres. If you don't count the hay and, because we hay the fields
bees.
And the bees and
They're over there.
But we really pretty much spend most of our time on about 5 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tamber, by the way, says, we love you, Tag. Just don't mess with B.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't mess with me.
Tia and Georgia, I wish there was a singles group on freesteading. TJ, we're talking about it. I'm just super, and you guys talk me off a cliff. I will absolutely take your feedback. I am super concerned, TJ, with hooking you up with a male or a female, right? I'm looking at your picture. It's a long ways away. I can't see. So TJ, whether you're male or female, connecting 2 people together and then something going wrong, I would feel.
They started a singles female only group in freesteading. So if somebody wants to start one, they could, right? Singles.
Yeah. So somebody could go into the forums and create a new discussion. Right. On singles.
That were not just female.
Right.
Because now there is one that says they're doing a Zoom call, but you have to be female and you have to have your video camera on, obviously, so they can see that you're female.
Yeah.
Because they're talking about other things that
girl stuff.
Yeah, girl stuff. But they could do that with a girl boy forum.
Yes. Well, yeah, you could create a discussion in a forum. You could do this, TJ, right now. You could go there right now and create this in the discussion. If the problem is, if I create the group owning freesteading, I'm concerned about liability. I'm concerned about putting 2 people in a position, and I would just feel horrible. But I would welcome the feedback. Victoria says, can you explain videos on homesteading? Going to be like YouTube in the future. Should we keep YouTube? Well, I'll tell you, Victoria,
I think they mean freesteading instead of homesteading.
Yeah. Victoria, my goal is to host videos at some point in time on freesteading. Okay. The reason why and I actually could do it right now today. I have the software already built into freesteading to do it. So we could create our own YouTube. The problem is paying for it. And, just to be blunt. So right now we're absorbing the cost of freesteading out of our pocket. Freesteading produces 0 revenue. I don't want to say 0. We might sell, 10 shirts a month and make, $6 or something. But it does not produce any real revenue. So what I got to figure out how do I get freesteading to produce revenue that would allow me to host videos without having to charge people to do it?
Yeah. One of the ways was to get more butts in seats, creating more of an audience
for an advertiser,
which will allow an advertiser to come in and say, hey, let's advertise. Can we advertise on your page?
Right.
And then that money would go to feed the.
Yeah. Because in hosting videos, all it is a money equation, because you got to pay for the storage space.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You got to pay for the server.
Yeah.
Right. Either you buy a server, you rent the space, whatever it is, you got to pay for the space.
Yes.
But the software, Victoria will allow us to do it today. I just haven't figured out how to pay for it yet.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to miss a whole bunch of people here because I just scrolled down. But see, we met another family on freesteading, only a couple miles away, says Gypsy. How cool is that?
That's so wonderful.
That's 2 for them.
They were it was them, the last ones too? That was just around the corner?
I don't know if it was the last ones because I get these messages pretty often. But
yeah,
I believe this was Gypsy's second one.
Oh, wow.
That they've met through freesteading, which is so exciting.
That's
to me.
amazing. That's the whole purpose of this, is to be able to get you guys connected with your community members.
Yeah.
And then to move some around too.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Tamarack said University of Michigan studied straw bale and they are getting better. Yeah. Again, all I'm concerned about with straw bales is just moisture and getting it perfect. You know, let me see. We are hoping Danny Wood from Deep South Homestead. I'm not sure. I must have missed something. I don't think anyone would hold you accountable for a mismatch, but I would hold myself accountable, TJ. I mean, I would feel horrible about it.
If something went wrong, it would be a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean, it would just.
I mean, there's some really good people out there, and then there's some not really good people out there.
Yeah. I'm saying this is to Hippocrates' point. I believe formal singles group, especially geared towards dating, could be fraught with danger for the owners of the platform. No one is keeping 2 people from conversing on their own. Yeah, and then no one's stopping anybody also from creating a discussion group of singles. Right? I just need to think this all the way through. You know, MJ in Wisconsin says, "Good evening. Good evening to you. We need like-minded companies to advertise." See, Dog Creek, this is exactly true. If we could figure out how to get a few decent advertisers in there, guys, you guys have my word. I will spend the money. If it comes in, I will spend the money on making it better. I absolutely will. But it's just not there yet. See, Jules says, I honestly don't see where it would be a danger. It's not like tag is literally hooking 2 people up. We're all adults and can make our own choices. I 100% agree. We're all adults. Unfortunately, it's not the way the world works.
Yeah. Yes.
We're all our own adults until there's a lawsuit opportunity. You know, we discussed the single steaders group. If you want to talk to someone, do it outside the group. Also, you can do that because, you know, at freesteading,
that's true.
All you have to do is connect with somebody, and then you can private message them. You can have all kinds of conversations. Eagle Lover said, yes, it is their second. Yeah. Hey, Kentucky Sustainable Living. Hey, there's another good channel. I did an interview with him talking about their community that they're building down in Kentucky. Amy B., do I hear a freesteading squash fundraiser? Oh, no, Amy. Oh, no. No, Gypsy says, yep, we've met 2 and we're going to start bartering. How cool is that?
Oh, that's wonderful.
Dog Creek Farm says we should meet a couple people from freesteading tomorrow at a meetup. How cool is that? Victoria says, thanks for all the clarification on freesteading. Yeah, guys, I'm trying hard to figure out how to do it. The Philippine Nomad said, I'm up for a freesteading membership, $1 to $5 a month, less than a good cup of coffee. We've talked about this. But what I'm worried about in this, and you guys guide me, coach me, you know, through this, is they'll turn a whole bunch of people off.
Yes.
And they'll go back to, you know, the way it was. And then I have no ability to preach freedom, and I have no ability to really. My mission in all of this, guys, was just to create community and to preach freedom. And am I going to lose that? And I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't. Hey, Arthur. Good evening to you. Starla says, I am late. Starla, you are right on time. You are 53 minutes in. She said she was playing with her seeds.
I'm jealous.
Storm Rider says, I am late again. Sorry. Hope everyone is well. Storm Rider, everybody is great. Apparently, Bird's Eye View is going to meet with Dog Creek Farms tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, super cool. Yoke up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Victoria says, advertising from companies you support would be great. Yeah, I would love that. And I promise you this too, guys. You have my word on this too, is that any advertiser I bring in, I will vet. I will make sure that they are pro-freedom. Now, that doesn't mean pro-right or pro-left. That just means pro-freedom. I want to make sure that I stress that, you know.
Yes.
That's super important. Let me see here. Amy B says she agrees with Philippine Nomad. Okay, I'm going to try to go slow here so I don't lose it all.
And there it went.
You know what? I got it. Johnny, right?
Yes.
Okay, I let have Johnny. Who's tag hooking up? Sorry, I'm late. Oh, what they're talking about is building a singles group on freesteading.
Mm-hmm. We
are growing by leaps and bounds here, says Kentucky Sustainable Living. You bet.
That's wonderful.
Yep. Hippocrates says one bad actor gets in and ends up being an aggressor in an abusive relationship. The risk of reward ratio is not in the platform owner's favor. If one sees the risk low enough, domains are cheap. Great point. I would buy some squash, says Cul-de-sac. And she's not far away.
No.
You maybe could barter some squash.
Yeah.
Maybe she has some seeds for something you'd like to grow next year. Please take my squash. Somebody take it.
No. I'm making muffins. I'm going to make all the muffins. I will make lots of muffins.
Sylvia says, I am one who wants to live a single life now. One relationship was enough from a bad marriage. After 22 years of an abusive relationship, I want to be single. Yeah. You know, they say, Sylvia, that you can't love anybody else if you can't love yourself, right? And there's times I love to be alone, just by myself in the woods and in my thoughts, you know?
That's why you got to shop.
Yeah. See, Big Kid says a lot of us can't afford membership. Yeah, and that's what I'm concerned about. Let me see. I believe Starla is on there. Let me see here.
Yes.
Yours are on the way as well as Yoda's. Yeah, thank you, Starla. Okay, I'm going to try to go slow here again. Well, that worked well.
You could just type the boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, you know what? I think you should run this next time.
No.
How many would like to hear B read all the questions on our next live?
You're doing great.
Yeah.
I got to go check the fire.
Yeah. Gypsy says, thanks to B, talked my wife into purchasing a wood cook stove.
Oh,
hey!
Yay!
Yeah. Rain Country says, there would certainly be those that would leave. There are always those that do not understand the cost of things and assume it is all about making money.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, it's you know, I'm not a very big channel and I don't have that big a reach. And so I can't speak, you know, for the big channels, but you know, I can tell you guys that, you know, YouTube makes me less than $1,000 a year. Okay. So for me, there's no money in it. You know, a little bit. I mean, I have finally at a place now, I'm at 11 months into my YouTube journey. So we've been around 11 months. And in 11 months, I finally recouped the cost of the camera I purchased to film on.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now. And now it's outdated and I need to buy another one.
Yes. I get the error message on the front of it every time I turn it on.
Yeah. Oh, and I just bought a brand new GoPro 10, you know. Anyway, Jonathan, the problem with membership fee or pay to get in is that even if it's cheap, we would agree it's a reasonable cost. It will keep new people away because they don't know what they're getting into. Right. Also true. Yep. Got it. Hello from Wisconsin. Richard, hello to you. Okay, so I'm going to try to do it Bethany's way.
Oh, it's not working?
There you go. Smart one. Barbie Not Doll, also from Wisconsin. Cool. Welcome. Hey, we just watched a series, Under the Dome. And the hero, his name was Barbie.
Barbie, right? Yeah.
Possibly advertising with companies and products that they offer discounts to members and a payback percentage to purchase back on free study. Yeah, Victoria, this is exactly the plan. But the problem is free studying has to get bigger. Mm-hmm. Right. And I can tell you guys, we've grown the way we've grown because of people like, you know, Rain Country and, you know, Danny at Deep South and, you know, Billy at Permapastures. And, you know, there's so many of them out there, you know, that have helped it grow, but it really needs to get to a size where it becomes attractive to the advertiser. And it's just not there yet.
Okay. So there goes my idea.
Yeah. Your idea was great for a minute.
Oh, hey, Richard, I got this.
Oh. Look at this. Good. Talk about it.
Yeah. So I got this in the mail. I don't know if anybody has seen one of these. I don't know much about colloidal silver, so I'm excited to look into this. I got this in the mail. It says happy birthday. And hope you like it. I did get a package sent to you today, Richard. I will get you the tracking number tonight if I get to my emails. But it did go out today.
Nope. Cul-de-sac says she has lots of seeds she'd be willing to trade for squash.
Yeah.
Are you tempted?
Yeah. I do. I have quite a few squash left.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Stormrider did all of the garden planting today.
Is cul-de-sacs in Missouri, right?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. Okay. Oof. I have no idea. I really try not to miss anybody. Like Oh my goodness.
You
Okay, there you go.
just said
There you go.
Storm
Yep, I
Rider.
got it right there. Yep. Okay. Maybe you could sail the squash and put the funds towards freestanding. I like this
$1
idea.
a piece.
Yeah, I like this idea.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. The Muffin Man. Have you seen the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane?
He's right here.
Yeah.
He's fixing to eat the muffins. Tag will be the squash muffin man.
I've had 2 crazy ex-wives. I'm going to continue to stay single. Yeah, says Johnny. Yep. Do you know the squash muffin woman?
I guess that would make
She's
me.
right here.
I guess that would make me.
Right? She lives on Drury Lane.
Yes.
Yep. I think you have to let God pick them for you. Yeah, I think there's some truth in that. Are you the one having the birthday soon? Cul-de-sac wants to know from Johnny if they're having a birthday soon. You see here, chocolate squash muffins with hot coffee might
Chocolate.
convert tag.
Chocolate squash muffins?
Yeah. Well, I think I would prefer the plain squash muffin to try it first because of the texture and what does it taste like. And I mean, I would try it.
I have a really good recipe with pumpkin. It was, so I bet I could.
But it's the same.
Yeah, I bet I could make that into, and it has like nuts and seeds and.
Yep. Simpler Times Homestead is right on time in case anybody was curious. Right on time. Let me see here. That's discouraging about YouTube. I must have missed the comment about YouTube. There's a lot about YouTube that's discouraging. It's not what people think it is. I mean, I can't, you can ask some of the bigger channels to talk about it, but I can tell you from a small channel, of 5,300 subscribers and 11 months worth of videos. If you do it for the money, you're not, you're going to starve to death. You might want to find something else,
Yeah.
Let me see here. Where am I at? Okay. I'll shoot everything on my phone or iPad and don't edit much at all. You get what you get on my videos. Yeah, I understand that. Tamara says, "Oh, damn, what's the deal then?" I'm not sure. Tamara, I'm not sure what the
Probably
question.
about YouTube. Like what?
Yeah,
what's the deal then?
Why do it? Is that the question? Why be on YouTube? Why go through the work? Because it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
Filming and all that stuff. Well, I think for me, what it was when I went through all the stuff at my work and I decided that I wasn't hiding anymore. And I actually kind of felt a little bit guilty for hiding for all those years, that I was just going to go fight back. And, it's funny. I remember in the very beginning saying, I'm going to get on YouTube and they're going to kick me right off and it ain't going to matter, but at least I'll get it off my chest.
Yeah.
And they haven't kicked me off yet. So here I still
So
am.
here you are still
Yeah,
talking. Yeah.
Jonathan says, last week on the Zoom, I got peer pressured into getting a pressure canner. So now I got to decide what to try canning first.
There you go.
Any recommendations? What's an easy one?
For the pressure canner, meat.
Meat's easy.
I would say meat. Yeah.
Can some hamburger.
Because and then, you can go from there. But water bathing is, all the jams and jellies and the salsas and so meat is what I would do. Because you don't probably have green beans right now, right? Green beans go. I do got to go check the fire though.
Okay, you go check the fire, and I'll try to catch up because I've got a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about. We just haven't gotten to it.
I thought you have been talking.
I've been just trying to keep up with everybody. Homesteaders of America's main support is the 20 or 30 companies that they have backing them. Yeah, and hopefully we can bring some commerce in to be able to offer people good deals, but at the same time, be able to just pay for that. I would like it if freestanding would just pay for itself, to be honest with you guys. I mean, if I could just get to a point where it was breaking even and not costing me money every month, that would be exciting. Tamara says, how do we find a man for us? Yeah. I mean, again, maybe the singles forums, someone needs to go on to the freestanding and create a singles forum discussion, and maybe some of that stuff will happen there. Tamara, the other thing is get out. I spend a lot of time at conventions and a lot of time at farms and get out and about, farmers markets, because obviously you don't want to attract any man. You want a man who's sympathetic to your cause, but I'm probably not the best person to talk about how to find a man, but when B gets up, I'll ask her that question bluntly and we'll just see what she has to say. Maybe she'll squirm. Let me see here. Thanks for the thought process. I have a small group and charge $5 a month, but I'm struggling to figure out how to accept payments from remote members without using credit cards. I'm trying to break free. Yeah, Josh, that's a hard one. I'm going to write you down here, bud. And is it on YouTube? What you have is on YouTube? Because if you do, I'll go over there and subscribe. To you, but you can use PayPal, you can use some of these other places, but in the end, guys, it's all going digital anyway. So I mean, the idea of being able to accept any form of payment that's not digital, I mean, you can tell them to send you a paper check, but oh my goodness. Stormrunner says picking up an extra time job in February, will be working at the local feed and seed. Now, see, that is awesome. Great place to network. Yeah, I hope you can network with all kinds of people. What we need to do, Stormrider, is we need to send you a free man hat. Or, hold the line, something that you can get people to ask questions about. Let me see. Cherokee Tam pumpkins are excellent and due last year. Guys, I'm going to totally miss a bunch of you. And if I do, I'm so sorry. Big Kid says, if you want freesteading to really grow, get people to tell their stories with pictures as they go along, projects, gardens, etc. Yeah, actually, that's a great idea. The more of you guys that help me encourage this behavior, the better off it will be. Because, part of my problem is guys, I can only donate about an hour a day to freesteading. I have a whole homestead to run. I have other companies that I still own parts of. I've got just so much going on. With the YouTube channel, I can only give it about an hour a day. But if we could convince everybody to post their projects and their gardens along the way, Big Kid, I think that's a great solution. And I think it would absolutely draw people. Especially once they're there, they will stay there. And I don't necessarily know how much that will get them there, but certainly would keep them to stay there. No way, we will have to knock on my door or be at the feed store. Yeah, yeah. Mandy said, I think Rick should be in charge of creating singles since he is single. Well, and Rick does everything. So he's kind of like the, calendar guy for, freesteading. Oh, the Lightning Network. That's a great idea. One step closer. I didn't think about that. I need to find a man like Spags or Tag or Data or G. I won't accept anything less. Oh my gosh. I know all of those guys, and you'll be in for a handful. Really, specifically with Spags. Spags would be the hardest one to manage. Johnny says, Tamara Smith, are you going to have to get out more often to find a man? Yep. Zeal is a bank-to-bank transfer app. Let me see. Yep. Rain Country says anything digital will eventually be problematic or is highly invasive of privacy. Guys, this is going to happen. I'm telling you, this is going to happen. And they're going to do it in a way to protect the dollar. Just like Richard Nixon said many years ago that he's removing the dollar from the gold standard to protect the country from the speculators or protect the dollar from the speculators. And it'll be done exactly the same way. They're going to protect us from some fear and some crisis to issue in the digital dollar, and it is absolutely coming. There's no way stopping it. So what do you do, right? So this is why community matters. Is if you can create a community where you can barter, trade, you can do some of those things. I think you can mitigate it, but I don't think you can ever get where you don't need any of it. I don't think so. I hope I'm wrong. You two are great Americans. Such an inspiration. Keep on keeping on. Tom, thank you. Thank you. Once I start the feed and seed store next month, I will definitely wear freesteading gear. Great conversation starter. Yeah. See if you can just get them talking, Let me see here. Victoria says, I know it's crazy, but at this point, I'm refusing to do money transactions and anything but cash. Really makes companies furious these days. Good for you. And I hope you can keep it up. But guys, I'm telling you, they are going to bring in the digital dollar. It is coming. I don't see any way that it stops. Hey, my good buddy Data. Hey guys, that's a interesting channel and more an interesting guy. So Data has been my buddy for many, 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 many years. And he's kind of out there and, talks about weird things and all that good stuff. But if you like that kind of stuff, that's a great guy to talk to too. Yeah, Spags is ungovernable. Yeah. Jules, you can have Mr. Hacks. Yeah. Let's go fishing. I like fishing. Yeah. For me, gardening is a very peaceful and fulfilling experience. Yeah, I agree with that. I like the feel of the dirt. Country people go to folk music festivals. Oh, there you go. Tamarack. That's a good idea too. Let me see. Speaking of men, Rain Country says, this is why I refuse to sign up for any new digital payment methods, regardless of what they claim to stand for. Yeah. And Rain, I'm telling you, I pray and hope that we can keep going the way we're going, but I just do not see it. I absolutely believe the digital dollar is 100% coming down on us. And I could give you all kinds of conspiracy theories as to why I think this, but I do this, and I agree, Rain Country, bartering is going to be necessary. And so I think we got to yoke up now, right? Right now, we got to be building community. LJC says the recent Bank of America fiasco supposedly involved Zeal, the money disappearing during the transfer using Zeal. Yeah, I don't really think you can trust any of them. I mean, I think the banking system is one of the biggest problems with our country. Right? Yeah, he's definitely out there, says Data. Let me see here. Say no and be ungovernable, says Deborah. Couldn't agree more. Let me see. I've learned women really hate it when you tell them no. Well, I think if you're smart, Johnny, you can get your point across without actually having to use that word. Well, maybe we should try this, or have you thought about it this way, or be a little more gentle in your approach. And yeah, I'll just leave that one right there. Let me see here. Where are we? Man, it just blows by so fast. Let me see. I've been trying to get my 401k out, even with penalty, but they are trying everything to prevent that. And right now, they are really pushing my frustration button. Mandy, isn't it crazy? I know a lot about this. Isn't it crazy how they hold your money hostage? They're holding your money hostage. It is your money. Just listen, I'll give you some advice, Mandy. Just stay on it. Call them every day. Every single day. And every day when you call them, say, this is my money. Why are you holding it hostage? And let me tell you something else you can do is you can say, hey, do I need to call the securities commissioner? Tell them, do I need to call the securities commissioner? I know what state you're in, but I'm not going to mention your state. I'll pick on my state, Kansas. I would say, would you like me to call the securities commissioner for the state of Kansas? Do I need to call the securities commissioner for the state of Kansas? Because that will scare them. Ask me how I know this. It's going to be very difficult to barter with someone hundreds of miles away. That's right. This is why we've got to yoke up now. This is why you yoke up with your community. And you get, a couple hundred miles around you, or even 100 miles or 50 miles around you. And, you might be able to make a little bit of a dent. Sylvia, good night to you. A digital dollar is here, says Almost Homestead. And a lot of people will go for it once they are offered UBI, so Universal Basic Income, through the digital dollar. Yep, they don't realize what they're in for. They don't realize what they're in for. This is a horrible, 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 horrible idea. And I'm telling you, it's coming down upon us and we cannot stop it. What we have to do is build community right now. And we've got to build that alternative society and that alternative economy. And guys, it can absolutely be done. We just have to do it. Let me see here. Sorry, guys. Hey, Marilyn from Oregon, how are you? Even when I turned 59 and a half, I had a hard time getting my 401k money out. Yep. Or you go in there to make a big withdrawal and they ask, what are you doing with it? None of your flipping business. Yeah, me and Bees actually had to do that. Go into the bank and say, hey, I want to take X out. I'm actually trying to get out of the banks and I'm trying not to use them so much because of that same thing. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You know what's crazy about this right here is nobody's asked about it all night long, but check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, tiramisu.
Some tiramisu.
Tiramisu. Oh my goodness. Let me see. So here, baby, you start reading. I'm gonna eat. This is all you. You can read the rest of these. Ready?
Let me get my breath.
Okay.
I just had to haul up 2 flights of
Deborah
stairs.
says we need to have a video on how to get free from the corporation. Yeah, there's a lot to that, Deborah. It's not so simple as one thing you do. It's about 100 different things that we're doing. And that's why I keep putting out the Starve the Beast videos to try to get people to understand that when you like a post on Facebook, what it tells them is what to feed you. And when it tells them what to feed you, it strengthens your beliefs. It makes it hard to see the truth and the other side because you're only fed the things that they think that you will like. And so we have to be able to fight all of that. But there's so much to it. It's all being sold under the guise of safety and convenience. Yeah, fear. Fear is their their go-to gig.
Are you talking about YouTube?
Yep. All right,
or
baby.
Facebook?
You are right here with Victoria.
Did you know bartering is taxable?
Yeah, anything it's supposed to be taxable,
It is supposed to be taxable.
except you can get away without it now until they go to the digital dollar, and you'll no longer be able to, right?
Yeah, I can get away with
You
it.
know,
Fellow homesteaders need to check out metal recycling yards. I get used tin, fence posts, etc. for pennies on the dollar. Great for finding useful items.
unusual items. You're close.
Unusual items, yeah.
Johnny says you always have a choice. Yeah.
Cannot do it. Yummy. Oh, yum, yum.
No,
Yeah.
Hippocrates. No.
Hippocrates.
Yeah, he wants to know if one layer of this is squash.
No, and it wasn't made on the cook stove. I got it from the baker in town. She does a much better job. So
Tamarack says get rid of the IRS. I could not agree more. If we should be able to file our taxes
They
on
just-
a postcard.
they just hired a whole bunch of new people too.
Yeah,
So
80,000 of them.
80,000
Mhm.
new IRS agents.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Guess
Yep.
we get to pay for them
Mhm.
because I'm right there with you. SSDI and SSI, but when they force the CBDC, I'm out.
Yeah, digital currency. Zip it.
Zip it.
You know what? Actually, that'd be a pretty good T-shirt too.
Well, it would only apply to you. You would be the only one wearing it.
Yeah. I know everybody in here feels sorry for me because you're so mean to me.
I know. Because you get served zip it desserts.
Mhm. Yep. Yes, that's why we need to get together. Some of us need help with it and can't find what we need. Yes. Guys, you got to be, I'm telling you, get into freesteading, get in your state groups, do meetups, do get-togethers. Go to the conventions, meet people. Guys, I'm going to tell you that when I went down to the Self-Reliance Festival, was it October? Was my last one? I think that was right. I don't remember. But anyway, when I went down there, I met some great people who now I talk to all the time. Porterhouse and Teal, who was on here, Indiana Mike, I met there. LJC, I met there. And now we've turned into friends, and we can absolutely, tabletop. There's another one that I met there. Yeah. One step closer, I met there. I would not have the UGS calculator today if it wasn't for that. You got to get yourself out there, and you got to be willing to do your part.
There's another lady that you met out there. Old Crows.
Oh, 2 Old Crows I met there too. Yep.
2 Old Crows.
Yep. There were people in camps for their safety about 70 years ago. Yeah.
For their safety.
Yeah. Rain Country says you are supposed to also pay tax on anything you make off garage sales and the like. I mean, who really reports that? Yeah, nobody until there's no longer cash. And then you'll walk up to a phone and go beep, and then they'll track everything. Diversify all you can. That's a great words. Yeah.
Where
Go
are
ahead.
you? Diversify.
Adam Andrews, I think.
Thumbs up to you all. Love you all. That one. Johnny.
Mhm.
Armed. New
Mhm.
IRS agents.
Mm.
Armed.
Yeah, they're all armed also.
With 2 arms.
Well, I mean, you might be a violent criminal if you're not paying taxes on your garage sale. I mean, that's the sure signs of an extremist.
So they're supposed to use force to get you to pay your tax bill.
I mean, they're armed for some reason.
Yeah.
Yep. All them heathens out there not paying taxes on the garage sales.
Mm. Yeah.
Heathens.
Yeah. All that stuff got put in the dump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cul-de-sac wants to know, where did I say we met all of those people? So I met all of them at the Self-Reliance Festival in Tennessee. But
Mm-hmm.
Cul-de-sac, here's the thing, is that the same is true for the Midwest Preparedness Project that goes on in Kansas every year.
Yeah,
The
we
same
met
is
some cool people there
Yep.
too.
always, right? And for years. The same thing. When I go down to Georgia, I'm going to meet some cool folk.
Yeah.
And it's about building community. But you guys got to get out there. You got to get out and meet people and, get out of that comfort zone. Or what's going to happen is, we'll be in a place where there's nobody left to stand up.
Yeah.
First step is digital, then cashless, and paper money will be worthless. Yes, it will. And they'll do it to protect us. Yep, they will do it to protect us. Jules says, I'm not in the Texas group on freestanding much. I was in there the other day, but usually not. Yeah, but you should be. Not a lot of people in my area, but I'll advertise once I start my part-time feed and seed job. Yeah, good. That's another thing, guys. And, tell everybody to go to freestanding or whatever groups you guys are in. Facebook, for that matter. It doesn't matter, but can we get people to yoke up and to build community? Go ahead. I'm on half bubble right there.
Yep. They're trying to get rid of making money with your side hustle. Not supposed to be making extra money or you got to pay taxes on it. Cash. That's how they do it in Japan and China. Whoa, it moved.
Welcome to my world.
Japan and China. Walk up with phones and scan it. Auto deduct. You have to pay taxes on the
at the thread of a barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time it moves, it's hard to keep up with the. Yeah.
I know. I live it every day. We do this.
One thumbs up. I want to come to the Midwest Preparedness Festival.
Yeah.
You should, especially if you're just around the corner.
Yeah, it helps if you tell them who you're talking about. Right?
That was Cul-de-sac Garden.
Yeah, Tamarack says people are waking up.
Yep, Jules, I already paid taxes on all the crap I sell at the yard sale. They aren't going to tax me again.
Well, if they have their way, they are. And I'm
True.
going to tell you, Jules, whether you like this or not, they're going to tax you on it. Because what's going to happen is, as they were talking about earlier, they're going to do the digital dollar, then they're going to get rid of cash and make it where the only way it is digital, and then you're going to pay taxes. Or you're not going to have a garage sale unless you do it with, something else.
Yeah.
Did you miss something? What were you trying to do?
Yeah, I was going to see if how hard it was to stop it, but.
Well, you're learning all kinds of stuff today, aren't you?
No. No, I'm not.
Let me see.
Where were we? Deborah O'Neill.
Deborah O'Neill. Yep.
It's sad to see people hand their phones out of the window. Phones out of the window at the drive-thru or the grocery store. They're all young. Yeah. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, they suddenly destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon the woman with child, and they shall not escape.
All right, I'm ready. You got it, or you want me to take over?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hippocrates says, get some business cards made up and keep with you. If you meet someone possibly like-minded, give them a card with the contact information. That's a great idea.
You talked about that in the past.
Yep. I'd like to get some just white ones that just have freestanding on it or life done free or whatever.
With your name?
No, maybe just tag or whatever.
Well, how would they get a hold of you if they don't?
They'd go to the website, like I give them a place online where they would find us. US backed digital currency is inevitable. We will have no choice but to render unto the Caesar that what belongs to Caesar. Yeah, that makes everybody feel good, huh?
Not really.
Yep. Add up all the times you pay taxes on each dollar that passes through your hands. Last night I was on the show Anyone Can Farm, their podcast last night, and we were talking about this exact thing, big kid, about how a dollar, by the time it gets to 3 transactions, then the government's gotten all of the money back. In 3 transactions, they've taxed it so many times, they've gotten it all back. People don't realize this, but the average American pays 59% of their income in taxes today. 59%. None of those evil rich guys who don't pay their fair share. Some of them up are in the 70s. By the time you get all the way through it. Money is an illusion. All money is the exchange of energy. I'm exchanging my energy from yours. And if we can find another way to make that transaction without using the dollar, I think we're all better off. See, who is going to protect us from people who are supposed to protect us? Yeah, we are, unfortunately. Let me see. Joseph says, hello, Freestaters. First time online with Tag and B. They are just down to earth people. Joseph, thank you for saying that. And I'm glad you're here. I hope to see you more. Let me see here. Ooh. See, it's not hard. Yeah. There it went, just like that. Okay, we'll just start right there. Cul-de-sac says she's east of KC, by the way. Your protection is your own responsibility, says Johnny. 100%, 100% agreed. Can you adjust the speed of the feed? I can adjust it. When I set it up, to be 15 seconds before someone can post again. But at the end of the day, I just try to do my best, you know.
It's a helicopter.
Yep. Tag, do you know Garrett Soldano? I do not. At least he doesn't ring a bell to me. Let me see here. I know, but luckily for me on SSDI and SSI, I don't make enough to pay taxes. Yeah, well, you still pay taxes. Don't think you don't pay taxes, Jules.
Right. When she buys something.
Every time you buy something, you pay taxes, right? Tag, what is it that you have to talk to us about? Tag, what? I got all kinds of stuff on my list that I haven't even gotten to.
You were trying to.
Yeah, you mean I just said problem is I try to get everybody in here and I try to talk to everybody. But I guess we'll just okay. Let's talk about a couple things. So we talked about the live on Monday, right?
Yes.
So we'll be on there
with Tia.
Yeah, you guys know how I'm always talking about how the let me see. Glenn says the helicopter you hear is a Flight for the Life helicopter. I wonder how he knows that. I don't know. Maybe you can just hear it all the way through here. Anyway, and inflation is a tax, Richard, by the way. I agree with you 100%. But anyway.
Yeah, Glenn, how do you know the
yeah, does that make you feel a little weird, B?
That it was loud. It went right over.
Okay, so you guys know how I talk about fear a lot. And I found something really interesting here locally. But I want to start with, guys know how President Biden came out this week and was talking about how he could not guarantee Social Security checks if the debt ceiling wasn't lifted, right? If it wasn't raised.
I didn't hear that. But.
Yeah, he did. And to me, RN, have a good night. I hope everything's okay. To me, that's just fear, right? All they're doing is spreading fear. Oh my God, we better do something, or we're not going to be able to pay Social Security taxes, which is a crock, right? This is not money. This is not welfare. This is money you've paid in your whole life for. This is your money. It's not their money. Mandy Garrett was talking earlier about having to beg for her own money. This is absolutely ridiculous that we have to go through this. But anyway, I bitch about those kind of things. Typically, like the left, we talk about Biden who, went and did this, but it happens on the right too. And I want to show you guys something. So there's this big fight that's going on in my county right now about bringing in solar farms and wind farms. So my county's trying to, the commissioners who are conservative, okay, the commissioners want to bring in these wind and solar farms. The commissioners do, but the conservative party of the town really doesn't want to. And so the conservative party of the town put some ads in the paper, and I wanted to share these guys with you because we were talking about, fear. So check this one out. This one's interesting to me. Okay, so this says, see, a couple things I want you to notice, guys, about propaganda that goes on to this. So the first thing is, you see the war zone in the background? Okay, you've got broken down wind turbines and you got broken solar panels, right? And then you got, of course, they use a pig, right? And the pig is very, very, very obese. And it says, greed, greed, greed is good, right? Wind and solar subsidy, ban solar or wind in Jackson County. Right, you see that? See, so to me, what this is saying is, you're going to have a horrible view. It's going to bring trouble, right? So this is the Republican response or the conservative response in my county to these wind farms and solar farms. I want to show you another one. Okay. Check this one out. Here's another one. This is the same fight that's going on, but this one's interesting to me because if you look at the top, the wind, this is the same group that put this out. So I find it fascinating. The solar panels are intact. The turbines are intact, but the flames and then the devil, right? And what I liked about this one too is it says it does not matter what you want. It's coming anyway. You see it right here, how it says quote, but who did it quote? right? I find this super, super interesting. And then it also says may have health effects, may or may not. They don't know. So, and then also negative effects on property value. But anyway, I found this super fascinating that it's just constant fear. And it's fear from both sides. I like to call them, and Rain Country says that, yeah, both sides are culpable. I call them the Republicrats, right? Because it's just absolutely ridiculous how, they prey on fear, which actually gets me to my point of what I wanted to talk about today, which I find super crazy, is I've taken some heat on some of my videos lately for calling out the conservatives. Okay. So I just kind of wanted to come, I don't even know what it's called, coming clean or what it is. But at the end of the day, guys, I was a registered supportive Republican for many, 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 many years until I went through some stuff that made me kind of relook at the world a little bit. So me questioning the conservatives is no different than me questioning the liberals, no different than me questioning any party. We should be questioning everything. To think that our system was designed so that we get to vote from the two of less evils, and that's the best that we have, and we just got to toe the party line, because if we don't, we're going to elect the other party. Again, fear. Right? It's time for us to take a stand and not take that BS anymore. And I'm not going to stand up and promote the Republicans because they've betrayed me just like the Democrats have. It's absolute propaganda. And I'm not going to apologize for it, because I'm going to attack the Republicans at every corner, every chance I get, as I am the Democrats. That kind of advertising, Deborah says. Oh, even back up one. I missed one. Rain Country says, there you go. The Bloods and the Crips. Right. That's super well said. Actually, it's better well said than I said it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Two gang enterprises. And, we get to beg for the scraps that fall off their tables. That kind of advertising, Deborah Neal says, makes people give up and not fight. They think it's a done deal and just accept it.
Yeah. It says it doesn't matter what you want.
Yep. Let me see here. Where we at here? Tag, that propaganda is crazy. It proves the two parties are on the same item and we ain't on it. Guys, exactly. Absolutely exactly. Rain Country says, same here, Tag. And that is why I am even more critical of the Republican Party, because I was part of it once and saw the junk they pulled. 100% agree. And, if people want to get mad at me because I pick on the Republicans, then you're just going to have to get mad at me, because I'm telling you, I'm not going to stop. MJ in Wisconsin. So we just had one of those wind turbines collapse here in Dodge County, Wisconsin. Now it's sitting there being an eyesore. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Politically, we may be homeless. No, we are homeless. We are absolutely homeless. But guys, here's the good news. They threaten us with the Great Reset, right? You guys heard these words? The fear of the Great Reset, the supply chain collapse.
Yeah.
Right. The global warming.
Yeah.
Russia's going to nuke us. China's going to nuke us. China and Russia are dying, guys. Just go do a little research for yourself. They're dying. I would argue that India is a bigger threat to us than China and Russia, unless you talk about somebody crazy hitting a nuke button, right? They're not the threat that people make us out to be. So what we get to do is choose whether or not we're going to buy into the fear, or maybe what we could do is create the greater reset, because it works both ways, right? It's just like your EGS social credit system score. The UGS system works too. We can play with the, social credit score or the ungovernable score, and we get to choose. I'll quit ranting. No, I won't. Tamarack says rhinos are getting called out. Yep. I see that as negative motivation. The more they push, the more I get motivated to do more. Yeah. Nicole says, Tag, are you a libertarian? It's crazy. This is such a hard thing for me. I can't put my hands on exactly, Nicole, what I am, because I'm also a capitalist. I believe that everybody should have an equal opportunity to achieve, but I do not believe we should create equal outcomes. Right. And so some people have called me capitalist, anarchist, I don't know what I am, a conservative libertarian. William Clary.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, big dog? Hey, guys, in the house tonight, we have William Clary, if you see him down in there. This is the guy that I call if I have solar questions. Well, really a lot of questions. Might be one of the best MacGyver people I've ever met in my life. You know, if you want to figure out how to, you know, take 2 funnels and a broom and, turn it into a microphone or something, he'd be the first guy that I would call. So if anybody, he, by the way, runs a company. I hope you don't mind me saying this.
Maybe you should let him say it then.
No, I'm going to say it. If he gets mad at me, then I'll beg for forgiveness. But he owns a solar company in Kansas City, Missouri, and like-minded. Solar, generators, like-minded. That's all I got to say. The big reset can bite me, says Storm Rider. Fear controls us all. What's up, Tia? We were just talking about you and next steps and all of that kind of stuff a little bit earlier today. So Tia is who I am going to be on the live with on Monday. Yeah, big cities have become obsolete. Yeah, they put a big 15-acre solar farm behind my property. I guess it's better than 40 houses. That's good.
Oh.
Yep. Okay, let me scroll down here a little more here. Also, how many like my brother who died at 58 paid thousands who never get a penny back what they paid in? Oh, great point, Richard.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, great point. Yep. Tamrick says I would like Garrett. Yeah, I'd be interested. I'd certainly go check him out. Has he got a YouTube channel or anything like that I can go track him down? Prep for the Eternity Homestead said, what I fear from a faith perspective is that some within the Christian faith have hitched their stage to the political pony, and as corrupt governments fail, so fails their faith. Oh, my goodness. I got a story to tell you, Prep for the Eternal Homestead. So I have been doing some research on Tractor Supply Company, because you guys know the news that came out about Tractor Supply Company. And so I'm a big believer that if you can't argue the other side of the argument, you just simply don't have the facts. And so I owe it to myself to be able to argue both sides. So anyway, I wanted to research what really happened with the LBGTQ stuff and Tractor Supply and all that. So I've been researching their board of directors. I've been researching, all kinds of stuff in that. But I'll tell you something interesting. The event that went on in Texas, in Waco, Texas, that caused this whole uproar, they had trans people reading stories to kids, and they had this big day. And did you know that 4 of their top sponsors were churches? See, at the end of the day, Christianity or organized religion, a lot of these churches have betrayed you as well. And the infiltration and the fear and the tyranny that strikes us every single day is coming from the churches too. And I hope that you guys out there have enough discernment to know the difference. We do need a parallel economy, Nicole. Tag, you be called an American. Yeah, there you go. Philippine Nomad said anarchist capitalist. I've actually been accused of that a few times. Anne Marie says, have you ever met a poor politician? No, they're rich off of the working backs of the citizens. Of course they are. Got to go to sleep, guys. Keep up the good work. Horse Range Mountain Farm. Everybody go check them out, and good night to you. Who had the solar company in KC? So Cul-de-sac Grocery Garden.
Getting deep with data.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so yep, just look in the chat.
Data did it.
Emergency and Renewable Power Solutions in Raytown. Look him up for generators and solar. Yep, and he's again, if I have a question, I know more about solar today than I've ever known. But if I have a deep question, he's the guy I call. Deborah says, I'd like to be a constitutionalist. My opinion, Deborah, on the Constitution is kind of changing over time a little bit. I think it's a fabulous document, but I don't think it went far enough because it doesn't protect us. Right? At the end of the day, they're taking our rights away regardless of the Constitution. So what do we do about that? Because at the end of the day, any piece of paper that we come up with doesn't matter if they don't follow the rules. Right? So how do we fix that? Nicole says, we are ready to move to Eastern Tennessee and say to heck with all of this. Yeah. A free man from the Federal Republic of America. I like that, Damrick. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, Prep for the Eternal Homestead says awful. Yeah, guys, I'm not bashing Christianity, but I am bashing organized religion in this particular case because I'm telling you, I was shocked to see that, most, probably the majority of the sponsors, if you classified them into one category, would be churches. Mm. And they had what I would consider from a Christianity perspective. I mean, they're totally going against what the Bible teaches as to my understanding of the Bible. And someone can educate me if I'm wrong. But I mean, they absolutely did that. And I was shocked when I was doing. I'm going to do a video on it once I get both sides completely researched. Let me see. All right, Mandy. Let me see here. Is storage shed size of about 10 by 20 be good to house a large Harvest Strike freeze dryer in? Has anyone else done it? 10 by 20 would certainly house that and a whole lot more also. Let me see. Jonathan says the Bible is readily available, so there is no reason to take any preacher's word for anything. You can always check the source in correct context. Many are just too lazy to do it. Yep. Amen. That's actually really well said, which brings up kind of my next point I wanted to talk about tonight. I've been asked, why don't I talk more about God on my channel? Which is interesting. I think that's a really interesting question because I don't talk about it a lot. We do a few mentions, here and there, but we really don't talk about it a lot. And there's a reason why. So there's many channels out there that if you want someone to, talk about the Bible and talk about the verses and talk about what they mean, there's a ton of them out there and you guys can go out there and do it. My own personal spirituality, I struggle with. Now, B is great with hers. It's easy for her. Well, I don't know if it's easy. That's probably not fair. Is it fair to say it's easy for you?
Yeah.
Okay. It's anyway, it's easier for her than it is to me. And I struggle with it. And so I am not going to be a hypocrite and claim to live a life that I don't feel like I live. I just don't feel like that. That's like that's like.
Yeah. We grew up in two different worlds.
Yeah. Yeah. And I try, but it's hard. And I struggle with it. And so, as time goes on, we'll see. But that's why I don't, is because I don't want to be a hypocrite. Good evening, Ghetto. Yeah, the heck with these mandates for vaccines and boosters. I'm not taking them. Prep for the Homestead said, good for you. Well, thank you. I don't want to be a hypocrite. And
you're all the way down there.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where how could I go and preach to somebody about living a Christian life when I'm not sure what that means? I'm just being honest. Right?
It's the beginning of the great falling away.
And where's that, baby?
Joint hair. The organized Christian
church is the beginning of the great falling away. Yeah. Yeah. Simpler Time says, love your heart tag. You're so genuine. Well, I try to be honest. And, I don't want to get up here and talk about, God said this and God said that if I ain't 100% sure and don't, I'm not comfortable with that. And, again, B is much better at it than I am. And I personally struggle. And, I don't want to get in too deep into this, but I'm going to tell you guys a little story, just real quick. So when I was growing up as a young man, I was raised Christian, and my mom and my dad, they left me pretty early. And I've been my own a long time. But when I was growing up, my mom would always tell me that, God was going to take care of it. And she was a horrible alcoholic and actually got locked up a couple times and, blah, 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 blah. So I spent my whole life in a situation where God was going to save it, and yet he never did. And I'm not blaming God for this because I'm just not. It's not him. It was my parents. But what I learned through that, or what I believe in today, is that God is going to help them who help themselves. And I'm going to dedicate my channel and my effort and my resources to helping people help themselves. Maybe some light will come to me at a later time, but that's just,
I'm right here.
That's just how I articulate it today. And, I guess that's what it is. So anyway, there's one more piece on this I wanted to talk about real quick, because I also was asked why I don't talk more about the doom and gloom. Why don't I talk more about the pole shifting or Russia and China invading or whatever it is? And I don't on purpose, 100% on purpose, because I believe that none of us know the truth anyway. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. Russia, because of their one-child policy 40 years ago, has destroyed their country. Okay, in the world, there's like 19 super aircraft carriers. Okay, did you know that we own 16 of the 19? Okay, China, that gets all of its oil, 90% of its oil is imported, and it comes through a particular way down by like Laos and Vietnam and comes up. Did you guys know that 2 destroyers or 3 submarines, you could bring China to its knees? It couldn't do anything. And so because of this, I look at it like it's just this big shit sandwich we're all going to take a bite, and I'm going to focus my attention on what are the things we can do today to be more free, and not focus on the story that they're trying to give us. Because the one thing I know for sure is that we're not getting the truth. What the truth is, I don't know, but we're not getting the truth. And I'm not going to spend my time there. I'm going to spend my time on protecting my family, protecting my friends, protecting you guys, protecting the communities, and trying to figure out how together we can go through this journey and live a little bit freer. Deborah O'Neill says there are plenty of doom and gloom channels. I like channels that are going to help me do better and learn.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, is that we're just going to keep going down that road. What do you think about the cost of I'm assuming that's eggs. Do you believe it's really about the avian flu or Biden? Well, I think, okay, so this is Nicole. I'm going to, oh my goodness.
Where are you?
Right down here at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Right there. Okay, Nicole. So I'm going to tell you what I think, okay, about the whole eggs thing. So, okay, there's a much bigger picture to all of this, which is really starts with the baby boomers. Okay, so in the second quarter of this year, the baby boomers all, on average, will retire, which means they're going to pull their money out, okay, of the system, which they should. That's normal, right? So they're a big generation. There's a lot of people in there, okay? The problem is Gen X, which is the next generation, me, we're not very big. And we live in a system that is built upon infinite growth. We have more debt, more debt, more debt. Stock market isn't supposed to be going down. It's just always going up. And you get little downs, but, it's just infinite growth and forever. The problem is with all the money coming out of the markets because of the baby boomers, right? The constant infinite growth that our system is designed on cannot continue. And so this is part of the reason I think you're seeing some of the inflation stuff that's going on. Now, obviously, the printing of the money, all of these things, I think they like to hide the avian flu. They like to disguise the cost of whatever by some new crisis, some new thing. It's Russia. It's Russia why it's going up. It's China. It's China why it's going up. No, it's going up because we have an inverted population graph. And then we have out of control spending, and we have politicians who don't do their job and who have forgotten their oath. And now they're just creating stories to make us feel better. That's what I think. So no, I don't think the eggs and the avian flu is as big an issue as they make it out to be. They just want to keep you scared. And which of you by worrying can add 1 hour to his lifespan? Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to go through all that. We don't need to dwell on the doom and gloom. We need to focus on the current and future survival. That's a full-time job in itself. Yeah, especially if you do it well. Yep. Deborah says, Satan said, have only 2 children and give them more stuff and a big house, and people fell for the greed and the notion. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Same reason I do not make my channel focused on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
The doom and the gloom.
Yep. The dollar is dead. We're just watching the dead quivers now. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, the dollar is 100% dead. And I don't know that I've got it 100% right, but I think they're going to come out and they're going to say, we've got to protect the, country or the dollar against the terrorists.
Yes.
We're going to protect you against the cyber crimes. What we can't protect it. We have to go digital, and we're doing this to protect you. Congratulations, everybody. And the crowd will applaud.
Yay,
and
we want it.
Yeah. And then there we go, and it's coming. It is absolutely coming. One step closer. I look for channels with good information and those that are uplifting. I enjoy finding good examples. Amen. AFJ Third says, I'm selling my house in the suburbs, 100% equity.
Wow.
Where can I best park the cash while I search for my homestead? Yeah, but I would put the cash in cash. If you're not going to put it in cash, the next thing I'd put it in is probably silver. And then probably followed by gold while you're waiting. But if it really depend, I would answer this question on
how long?
What's the distance between now and when you guess you will buy? What's the goal? Because if it's short term, if it's a year or two, just keep it in cash. That's what I would do. Nicole says we have a Biden cabinet with non-perishables due to food shortages. Until we can go homestead, we are at the mercy of this great administration. Yeah, we're all at the mercy in a lot of ways, right? And, I think it's so funny to me. I don't know, maybe not funny. We were talking about this last night on, the AFJ Third says 6 months, keep it in cash. Don't even bother messing with it because the ability to convert it, and you don't know what the market's doing, and I wouldn't even risk it. I mean, but then again, the dollar is going to keep going down too. So, I'd do it as quick as you can, right? I mean, because you're really weighing.
Yeah, that's true.
Normally, I'd say put it in land, but that's exactly what they're
That's
going
what
out
he's trying
doing.
to
Yeah,
do.
because land, I think, is the safest place to put it. But anyway, we were talking about Trump on. This is what kind of got me a little bit of heat. We were talking about Trump on the Anyone Can Farm podcast, and what I was saying is that they want to keep us in fear and they want to keep us divided. And I can give you example of why this is true. Just in social media, feeding you. If you're a conservative and you like conservative things, they're going to feed you conservative things, and that's going to strengthen your commitment. On the left, they're doing the same thing. That's going to strengthen their commitment. They're going to withhold any alternative opinion from either one of us, further strengthening the divide. But then we were talking about with the whole Trump thing was, what better way to create divide than to put a president in like Donald Trump?
Right.
I don't think Donald Trump created the divide like it was his fault. It wasn't. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
you either loved him or hated
you
him.
either loved him or you hated him, and it created this thing. And to me, it just really makes me think, I wonder if they created Bitcoin to get us used to cryptocurrencies so that they can make the change someday. And I don't know if this is true, guys, and I have no evidence to suggest that it is. But it really, the way the world is, has me question. I question a lot of these kinds of things.
Well, and it works.
Yeah, Prep for the Eternal Homestead says, we teach the Bible on our channel, but we also share in homesteading. I'm more confident to teach about scripture than homesteading, fairly new to homesteading. Yeah, and Prep, I think to your example here, I think this is a really good point. I feel way more comfortable teaching about starving the beast, corporate, 401ks, 403bs, building a wall, growing a turnip than I do about God. I just don't have I'm just not as comfortable there. So I guess I'm kind of totally the opposite there, Shelter, food, and water will survive. DeSantis 2024. A lot of people like him. Trump played his part. Yes, he did. Cash in the bank or buried in the backyard. Guys, I'm going to tell you, I have lived through a case where I went to the bank and it was closed.
Yes.
I have lived this.
Yes.
And that was not fun.
Yes.
Because at the time I was a young man. This was back.
You're talking about when that bank got bought out and they
in the middle of the night?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
in the middle of the night.
And you're like, wait, what do you mean they can't? Because it was the only location
couldn't get any money
in
out.
town, and they were like, "Oh, they were bought out. You'll get your money, but you just have to wait until the new bank takes over." It's like, wait, what do you mean?
Yep. Yeah, I lived it, so I do not keep a lot of money in the bank. I would rather bury it in the backyard, and actually, what I'd rather do is buy dirt with it.
Yeah.
What I'd rather do is buy assets with it, even if you go buy, a truckload of 2x4s today.
Yeah.
It's going to be considerably cheaper than it is going to be tomorrow.
Something you can hold.
Yeah, Jules' dog's looking up at the floor. Yeah. Trump is draining the swamp. Yeah, that's another thing. If he could said he was going to, he just didn't.
That's why she put the laughy marks.
Oh, right. These lives
do it.
These lives are the best. 110 minutes in, and the Energizer Bunny has us all buzzing. Yeah. See, that's a good name for you.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's true. I mean, that is what you're good at. It's not.
Guys, I don't know if I'm right, but I believe in what I say. I mean, I believe
you are passionate.
I'm convicted in what I do. Yeah. Let me see here. Yeah, it's past his bedtime.
Go tuck him in.
We will learn from each other. Amen. Prep for the Eternal Homestead. I'm telling you, I'm not.
That's why it's good to get to know everybody.
Yeah, I believe in God. I just struggle with my relationship with him.
You've been shown some bad examples.
Yeah, and I'm a critic. When B said, I want to get into essential oils. Okay, fine. I'll buy you an oil press because I love you. Weird. Until I experienced it. And then all of a sudden we got into some lavender on some burns and I started to see it. And I'm still skeptical. Like you can ask me, I'll tell you, lavender is a great essential oil. Will do everything for you. What's another one? Pick one.
Oh, I'm using the Progessence Plus and I haven't had a hot flash in a week.
Really?
Yep.
Pick a different one. Cedarwood. I can't tell you if it works.
Cedarwood helps you sleep.
I'm skeptical of cedarwood because I haven't experienced it.
Dry helps me to breathe when I'm stuffy. Oregano, rosemary.
Yeah, my point is I'm going to be skeptical.
Yes, but
Mhm.
we went to Disneyland or
Mhm.
World or wherever, and everybody got COVID. There were
Mhm.
people getting sick all around us, and you were eating oregano.
Yep.
And we didn't get sick.
We did not get sick. And thieves.
Yes, thieves.
Yeah, it's funny. We go into public and my wife's got a squirter. And she's like, "Open your mouth."
Yep.
You know. Anyway.
Yeah. I
Willow.
will keep you healthy.
Yep, willow can be used to make aspirin. I'd actually like
Yes.
to try that. I knew that was the case.
And rooting hormone.
Yep, and rooting hormone. That's right. Real question is, does bee smell like a hippie?
Sometimes I smell like garlic.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Sometimes she smells like chickens.
Yeah.
Sometimes she smells like dirt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or just
Bee.
body odor.
Ghetto. Bee has some hippie in her. I would consider her like 40% hippie and 60% militant. And she's this weird combination because she'll be the first one to punch you, but at the same time, oh, you bee.
But I love you.
Home. Right. Right.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I'll put some lavender on it.
Yeah. Rain Country says there's nothing wrong with wrestling with God, not the first time. Just be prepared to walk with a limp. Yeah. Yeah. Amen. Amen.
Yeah, we were just talking about Rain Country, their video about the pagan
Mhm.
holidays and why they don't do it. And you're like,
Yeah.
I totally agree. I totally
Totally
agree with that
agree.
one too. I totally agree with that too.
If I could go back, my kids
Yeah.
are old now. I have a 30-year-old son and a 25-year-old son, and if I could go back, I would have told them from the very first day there was no Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I would have not played those games. But you don't know
Yeah.
what you don't know.
Well, everybody else did it.
I know, but here's the thing: just because everybody else does it, I don't want to be part of that system. And they're programming us to be good soldiers.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this at the time.
I
But-
remember at 19, the younger one said, "You don't have to get us Easter baskets anymore."
Mhm.
I was like, "But I love you. This
Mhm.
is what I have to do."
Yeah. New Day says, tag by admitting that you are closer to God than some people who profess to be. Yeah, I would love to solve that in my heart. Because I've struggled with it my whole life. And if you live the life I had lived, that's making an excuse because you know what? I'm a grown man now, right?
That's true.
But
But you still have, like my mom preaches to you and
Mhm.
you're like, "I'm Jedi."
yeah, well, it's
And
because
she's like, what does he mean by that?
that's just me being fun.
Yes.
I don't really think I'm a Jedi.
Yes. But it
Or
stops
am
her.
I?
It stops her from thumping at you.
Well, Nicole says pure blood. Yep, I'm a pure blood. Deborah O'Neill says, I love rosemary. I hug my plant when I pass it in the yard.
It smells so good.
One Step says, tag, it's good to be skeptical, but try not to become cynical.
Yeah.
Oh, now if Data's in the room, he should jump all over that because I
guess
call him a cynic all the time.
he is here, I think.
Yeah, I think he's in here somewhere. I make fun of my cousin for doing essential oils. She smells so earthy and hippie-like. Oh, yeah.
She probably smells good.
Yeah. Militant hippie. Yeah, that's my wife. Skanes Girl said, and B for educational secretary. I have a lot of hippie and a lot of militant. Yeah. I think a lot of us are that way a little bit because I believe in, you will never catch me dumping chemicals on my ground. It's Mother Nature and it's sacred and it's honored here. But at the same time, I'm very fond of the Second Amendment, So it's interesting how that is. B, I call it being a tree-hugging conservative.
Yeah.
Yep. The Foxfire book series is good for learning how people in Appalachia lived off the land. Oh, cool. B, you are fun.
I am fun.
You looking for the Foxfire book series?
Yeah, I was going to write it down.
That's actually a very famous series.
Oh, you've heard of it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I've actually read some of it.
Okay.
But it's something I would do with you. Nicole says, I love your freesteading app. Thank you for keeping the freedom of speech free. Oh, and Nicole, has it caused me some grief? Let me tell you. Did you know that we had another large community leader that was on early on. And then we brought on pinball preparedness.
It didn't go so well.
And then they contacted me and said, no. If that's who you're going to bring on, then, we want off. And it was so funny how free speech was free until they didn't agree with it.
And it was them or me.
Yep. And I told them goodbye because I am not censoring.
Well,
You know, I'm
Yeah,
just not
you
going
said you didn't take them down. You said you're free to stay, and
Yeah,
they're
that's right.
staying also, and they left on
Yep.
their own.
Yep.
You did not remove anybody.
Yep. As long as we are not practicing hate, right?
Yeah.
And as long as we are not practicing violence,
Yes.
I will not censor anybody's speech. You know, if someone gets on there and says, "Hey, I'm going to go blow up X," I'm cutting it out. I'm just telling you, I'm going to jump all over it. If I see it, I'm going to cut it out. But it's going to take a lot to get me to censor someone's. If you guys disagree, go somewhere else. And if you can't agree to just disagree, then I think we got bigger problems, which again is, keeping us all separated.
Right.
Yeah, guys.
Right. None of us are perfect.
None of us are perfect.
And none of us know how have all the answers.
Yep. Yep. You guys, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I am again a recovering conservative. But I have some good liberal friends who are really good people. They're just, they've got that disorder and whatever it is. But here's the thing. I don't have to hate them. It's cool. I actually think it's fun to sit down and have conversations with them and see if I can get them into a corner going, like that's fun for me. We all need to be doing that. Let's not hate, let's love. And everyone's at a different place in their journey.
And you never know when a teachable moment will come.
Or when a moment comes that wakes them up. And they go, wait, what just happened right there?
Yeah.
And so I'm going to practice love. I'm not going to practice hate. Okay, where are we at here? Let me see here. I think nowhere says he smells like cigars.
Yes. Yes.
Tamarack says a crunchy mama.
Crunchy.
Are you crunchy?
I can be a little crunchy.
Speaking of Rain Country here. Speaking of Rain Country, they were talking about the old blister.
Yes.
And Rain Country, I got to tell you a funny story. So after you did that and you guys were talking about the blister, I walked downstairs. I think I told you this in freestanding. I don't remember. But anyway, I went downstairs and said, "Hey, babe, I think I'm going to start calling you my old blister." Oh, no, my old callus. My old callus.
Yeah.
And I don't think she found it anywhere near as funny as I did.
And he goes, "Well, Rain Country's called blister." And I'm like, "No."
Oh, Mo Callus.
Yeah.
He's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Wear that tiramisu.
Yeah. Nowhere Homestead said, "I quit arguing with God when I was healed from Tourette's."
Yeah.
Interesting. We bought a full set a year or so ago. My father-in-law grew up in North Carolina and knew some of the people that submitted portions of those books. Oh, cool.
The
Firefox books, huh? What has true value? Buy, trade, sell is up and down and win and lose and give and take.
Mm.
Yeah, there's like I said, I'm a big believer in assets. And, I want to be income poor and asset rich. That's my ultimate goal. Homestead said, "I still wrestle with the spiritual things, but at the end of the day, only way I will know him is to spend time with him." Yeah. I'll join the app as soon as you get rid of Yoda. Her and her gang are rivals. Yeah. Well, Ghetto, again, I have to tell you this. Okay? Free speech means free speech.
Her gang.
It means you're going to be offended. And, Yoda's gang is ruthless. And I think they call themselves the Gnomes.
They're here to stay.
It's the Gnomes. Yoda is the kingpin in the Gnomes gang.
Gnomes?
Those little yard art?
Yes. Yeah, my parents had some of them in the house growing up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to have fun with that. The Gnomes. I wonder if we created a t-shirt that said, like anti-gnomes or something, if she'd ever get it. Probably not. Let me see. I hate multi-level marketing of essential oils.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Bee has her own machine. She has her own oil press. And,
I still do Young Living.
Yeah, but she still buys it.
Only because there have been some that I have used in the past that have literally made me sick.
Mm-hmm.
And so some would say, well, that's because your body needed it. But, I can use the same. It was a rosemary that I had gotten from Natural Grocers, and I used it. And it made me sick. I used it again. It made me sick. I got a different brand and I can use it just fine. So there's something in that particular one that just did not work real well with me. So
yeah. Johnny says to Ghetto, maybe you can be the catalyst that brings the two groups together. The gnomes and the ghettos.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's good. I think we should push that, Johnny. Ghetto, you need to get the gnomes,
with Johnny in the middle and then the two on the outside.
Yeah. Nicole says, "What is your take on the pronoun stuff?" Yeah, you're gonna get me in trouble, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my take on it. So I believe that
Dun, dun, dun.
no, that there are male and female, period. And
What?
I think, and you got an X and a Y chromosome, and nature, and that's how that is. Now, here's the thing, though. I don't think we have to be an asshole either, right? And so if someone walks up to me and looks like a girl and says her name is Brenda, I'm going to call her Brenda. But I'm going to tell you, if a 6'6", 300-pound bodybuilder in a mini skirt walks by and says, "I'm demanding you call me Susie," I'm going to go out of my way to call him Sam. So. I do believe there's two genders. Rain Country, it's where my dad's side of the family's from, probably kin to some of the people in my books. My grandmother's family hid so they weren't taken off the Trail of Tears.
Mm.
That was a sad story, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh, right by me. Okay. I missed one. Okay. I just tell Patrick I am an old blister because he keeps rubbing me the wrong way. So you can be the old callus. Why? How do we twist that into you're the old callus?
Because you make me work. I don't know.
No, because there's a lot of buildup.
Oh Lord.
Can Squatch wants to know if you've pressed squash into an essential oil.
Eau du toilette squash.
Yeah, Damrak says crunchy mamas are awesome.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes not. I ran across a couple that were.
Yeah, Richard said assets are a good inflation fighter. Yeah, that's the best place to put it, I think, today. I try to convert money into assets all the time. I love going to auctions. Like I said, it's funny, just 4 years ago, I bought a skid loader for $15,000 with a whole bunch of, implements that today would cost me $35,000 for the exact same thing. And so, would I have been better off having my money in a mutual fund that made me 7% interest? Or would I be better off having my money in the skid loader that doubled its value?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about an appraised value. I'm talking about what it would cost to replace it.
Yeah. What it has done for us while we've had it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see here. Let me see that Herxheimer reaction excuse is dangerous to go by. If you feel sick, then it's your body telling you you're not right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I got this gnome saying. Oh, Ghetto, we have to have fun with this. So listen, but seriously, we can, on their lives, we can have some fun to talk about how are the gnomes. We can actually have some real fun with this. If you want to see biblical Christianity, watch a few videos on the Walden Sayans. Had a rough time under organized religion for 500 years. Yeah, sex versus gender fiction. I had a transgender guy at work tell me he had to leave to go see his gynecologist. I busted out laughing.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I have an image in my head of a gnome saying, "What up, gnomies?" Oh, we could have so much fun with this. Yeah. What's interesting? You talk about pronouns and sexual preference. And here's the crazy thing about I don't understand is that we shouldn't be teaching kids any kind of sex. Heterosexual, homosexual, none of them. What the hell does a 7-year-old kid need to know about sex?
No.
Nothing.
No.
We shouldn't even be talking about
Kindergartners.
it. No. I mean, this makes absolutely no sense to me. I have a employee at one of the companies that I help, and she's gay. And anyway, I asked her one day, and I'm very respectful though, babe. I mean, I'm not
What'd
judging.
you ask her?
Here's the thing. I'm not going to judge. I've got no place to judge. I'm flawed as much as any other human being is. But what I asked her is why do you feel the need to fly a gay pride flag? I don't fly I like chicks flag, right? I don't fly a heterosexual flag. Why do you feel the need to do this? And I actually thought her answer was pretty interesting. She said, it's because we feel like we've had to hide it for so long.
That she's proud about
that
it.
Now it's acceptable and it's like being free for the first time. is what she said to me, but I found her answer interesting. All right, where are we at here? Let me see here. Rain Country says, that is what Patrick has been doing, putting our money into equipment we can use or resell. Yeah, I think that's smart, Rain Country. I do. You know, and I come from the financial world. I have very little money in the markets today. I think I have $89 today because there's just this one stock that is an inhalant insulin that I own some penny stock in that if it ever goes, it'll be worth big money. But I've taken all my money out besides that. So I think you guys are smart that way.
Yeah.
Nicole V says, what do you think about monkeypox? You know, I think that when it first came out and they were talking about it, it don't seem like to me it's all that dangerous. And I think it's another great way for them to get you scared. You know, I'm not going to react to it. You know, I think if you live a healthy life, right? Eat healthy, you know, wash your hands and you do those things, you'll be pretty square most of the time, you know. Oh, Rain Country said gnomesteading.
Gnomesteading.
Oh, we're going to have way too much fun with that, Rain Country. We need to ask Yoda and Garen on their live how gnomesteading's going. That is great. 7 should be having fun, not worrying about sex. Yeah, I totally agree.
Age 7.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
guys, they're kids. Let them
Play.
be kids. Guys, adulting isn't any fun. You know, well,
That's a whole new thing now too. Adults don't want to adult.
Mhm.
I had to adult today because they had to pay their bills or they had to go to work or they had to, you know, they had to adult.
Yeah,
They don't want to do that. They want to play video games
man,
and play with toys.
man. I just don't get it. You know, kids need to be kids, and I'm, you know,
And adults need to be adults.
and adults need to be adults. Yeah.
And they need to be separated. Well, not separated, but separated.
Tamarack says no, I'm not. Tag, you need a tool shirt that says my tool is cool. All young kids need to do, says the Philippine Nomad, is to get out, play in the dirt, scrape their knees, brush it off, and have some real fun. I could not agree more. I could not agree more. And, you know, they're going to grow up so quick anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to recognize that adulting sucks. And they're going to recognize what a 30-year mortgage and slavery is. And they're going to recognize what a lot of these things are. Let them be kids. Give them some Play-Doh. Give them some dirt. And hey, by the way, guys, it's okay for them to eat mud. And it's okay for them to play with the chicken. And it's okay for them to climb a tree. And B's going, oh, no eating mud. It's okay. There's a lot of worse
Depends
things.
on where you're getting the mud.
Yep. Perfect Eternal Homestead said, let me give you a theological reasoning against all this gender neutral talk. The plumbing just ain't right. Don't fit. Yeah.
Don't even want to get into that.
Yep. Amend to that. If your body is healthy and you keep eating food growing from a garden, then no fear of anything throwing at you. Certainly a whole lot less fear. Tag, what year of equipment do you value most, pre or post sensors? Well, I mean, I think that the answer is separated there a little bit. And what I mean by that is, you know, my everyday driver, like my truck, for an example, I have a pretty new Ford F-150 that I drive down the road. It's all modern. It has everything. That's nice. It's a nice convenience. It's paid for. But I also have a 1973 one-ton Chevy crew cab pickup, you know, that's old, no sensors, you know, and those kind of things. So I think if I had to pick, if I could only have one, I'd rather have the old mechanical stuff. Easier for me to work on. But if I've got to get in my truck and drive to, you know, Tennessee because I agreed to speak somewhere or whatever it is, I kind of like having
You
the
don't
modern
want
stuff.
to use the, yeah.
You know, so, okay, let me see here.
They're all the same.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just read one.
Okay. The issue angers me since a 6-foot tall man with facial hair insisted on using the ladies' locker room in North KC when my daughters and little girls were in there changing after their swimming lesson. Hell no. Hell no. So this is another thing. This gets to what, you know, one of Bobby Spags' conversations and Garen's and even Rain Country to some degree last night. This is where men need to be men. Someone needed to walk in there and drag his ass out of there by his hairy chest, you know, and, you know, enough of that. They wouldn't, no. Just seen somewhere that half of 20-year-olds live with their parents because they want to spend money on luxury items. Yes.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying, guys. The population graph for the United States is inverted. Now, it's not as inverted as bad as Russia or China's, but it is inverted, and the infinite growth won't continue. And then the population that's entering the workforce, or that's been in the workforce for, I guess, a little bit, isn't that great. I want to show up at noon and start my job, and I want to, I want, the whole, and I hate to use the word millennial thing, but that's how they classify it. And then the millennial kids will be different, and they're supposed to be a pretty large population. So they're saying that we could get back to the economy of 2019 in the year 2045 if we're all just patient.
Oof.
And that is what the experts are saying.
Oof.
Let me see here. State of Fear by Michael Christian was quite an eye-opener for me quite a few years ago. That'd be a good one.
Can we write that down?
Yeah. Kids will grow up confused and depressed. Leave them alone and let them be kids. Yes, let them be kids. Guys, I swear to you guys, when I was 7 or 8 years old, girls had cooties. They seriously did. I wasn't thinking about any of those kind of things. Let me see here. Kids started being confused when everyone got a participation trophy. I actually couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
I've run a bunch of businesses, Johnny, and I've been very successful, and I've had some failures, but I promise you, I learned more from the failure than I ever did from the success. Yeah, Ghetto says, I would be in prison right now if that happened to my daughter. That's what I'm saying. Hell no. Somebody needs to grab that dude that walked in that girl's restroom by the chest and say, nope, not happening. The other thing that they need to do is then there needs to be an instant lawsuit against that store that allowed that. And we need to push it and get a class action, get as many people together as you can and push that all the way up and make it to where it's expensive for companies to be woke.
Right. And then cancel your membership.
Yep. Deborah O'Neill, we used to have mud fights with the little rascals in our neighborhood, and then we all got whoopings. Yeah, and it was good for you too, wasn't it, Philippine? Nicole says, do you think Donald Trump has a chance in 2024? I do not. I actually think if Trump would run, I think he would have a great chance of being elected. But here's the thing, Nicole. Do you think for a second that Joe Biden is the most popular president in the history of the United States of America?
Yes.
Okay, so if you answered that question yes, then he has a chance. But if you answered that question any other way than yes, what does it matter? Remember, Biden received more votes than any other president in American history. That's why my daughter is homeschooled, Richard says. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Richard, good on you. My kids are homeschooling as well. Best thing we could have done for them. Yep. Mm-hmm. I really am looking forward to building some homeschooling co-ops here in our community. And we got our first community building going up in the spring, right?
Yep.
Very excited about that. And we're actually going to try to put a school up. We've got
hopefully
some teachers.
Coming.
We got 2 now. Right?
I don't know. Are they coming?
Well,
Do
one's
we
already.
Have a no?
One's already here. Right? So we have 2 now. Actually 3. Right? Fisher's wife.
Okay.
Right. So there's 3. We could start doing at least some part-time homeschooling or, co-op schooling. I'm really looking forward to that. EGRA 2016 says a GMO is a plant, animal, or microorganism that has had its genetic material DNA changed using technology that generally involves the specific modification of the DNA. Yeah,
GMO.
I must have missed a question way up there at the top somewhere along the way. Anyway, sue the company owner personally. That way they pay out of their own pocket. Porterhouse says, good night, all. Another great stream. Hey, Porterhouse, I will see you soon at the Self-Reliance Festival in Tennessee. And we're going to hang out on a porch and have a cigar and a beer together.
That's next month, right?
It's in March.
Okay.
I've got Georgia, then Tennessee.
Right.
Yep. Here's a funny one for you. Picture a porcupine. Now picture a skunk. Porcupine is open carry and skunk is concealed carry.
Oh.
And I am way more scared of a skunk than I am a porcupine. Yeah. Nicole says, what do you think about Elon Musk? You know what, Nicole? I love having you come on. You ask some just badass questions. You know that? I have a hard time figuring out whether Elon Musk is Bruce Wayne or Lex Luthor. Elon. If he is, if Elon is Bruce Wayne or Lex Luthor. Because there's some things he does that makes me think he's a visionary, and there's some things he does that makes me think not so much. I find it interesting that there's in the Russian media, they talk about how he'll be the next president.
Oh, no way. Really?
Yeah. And that he'll get elected. There are some things, again, I love some of his stances on free speech. You know, I don't like his stances on AI. I don't like his stances on the Second Amendment. There's a lot of those things I don't like. So I don't really know. He's a really smart guy, or at least appears to be, unless he's one of those companies that he's kind of the front and everybody else really does it behind him, which I know some of them, by the way. But that's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elon Musk sounds about right, says Ghetto. Elon is a snake in the grass. I think he's Lex Luthor pretending to be Clark Kent. Oh, that's good. AMC, good night to you. Brain chip research. Yeah.
Eek.
Yeah, Bill Clary says, or William Clary says, brain chip research. Yeah, that's a little bit scary. You know, I've watched a fair amount of interviews with him, and he's talked a lot about how we already live in the Matrix, and it's already here. And I actually kind of agree with him, because so much what we're seeing is the Truman Show.
Yeah.
Like, right, we're only given what further divides us.
Yeah.
You know,
they
we're
want us to
right.
have. Yeah.
Right. And so I kind of agree with him from, you know, that perspective.
Yeah.
Let me see. K-Bonk says, well said, Tag. Ellen is a misfit. He is a misfit. The air up there is all musky. Yeah. What is your stance on electric vehicles? Yeah. So I think today they don't work. And what I mean by that is the amount of carbon and, you know, the amount of fossil fuels that it takes to create an electric vehicle, to create the charging stations. And I actually know a fair amount about this. I've been involved in discussions to bring charging stations to Kansas, or in some of those meetings that they talk about those kind of things. The sheer amount of energy output it takes to create them today is not worth the investment. Now, with that said, how are you ever going to get it worth the investment if you don't go down the road?
Yeah.
Remember flat screen TVs, how in the beginning, I remember the first one I ever looked at was $10,000 for a 52-inch one, right?
They were beyond
super
reachable.
expensive. And now they give them away.
Basically.
And so I think, as from an electric vehicle stance, I think at some point I would love to have one that I could charge off my solar system, right? Because I'm already off grid. That'd be really neat. But today they're not worth the investment.
Especially to get rid of a gas car to get one.
Yeah, Johnny says Alan so wants to be loved by the left. Well, he sure seems to be pissing him off. It was a YMCA, and most of the employees had a trans look. My daughter quit going to that one. Yeah, good. I think all this conservative talk is to win over the conservative side, and they will be more accepting of the mark, which could possibly be the Neuralink. You know, this is super fascinating, Rain Country, because, you know, they talk about, and again, I am no Bible scholar, right? We already established this earlier, you know, but they talk about the Antichrist being super popular to everybody, and the mark of the beast, and you know, all of these things. And I'm going to ponder that, Rain Country. Thank you for that comment. Yeah. I mean, what if Elon Musk is the Antichrist? Elon Musk, sorry. Not born in the USA. Okay. Oh, that's right. He's not.
Yeah.
GMO sounds kind of like mRNA vaccines to me. Yeah, it is, huh? Let's go, Brandon. Rain Country, yes, I believe you are right about the Neuralink. Yeah, this is really deep. I love getting in these lives with you guys. You know that? Really, really push me. And now I'll go totally dig in, and pretty cool. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Those
I'm not sure where you were.
I'm right here. You see Bonnie Clyde was the next one.
Bonnie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those hybrids are just doggy, go gas or electric, or just go home. Yeah, we've toyed the idea of buying an electric golf cart just for the farm, because I could just drive up and plug it into the solar system, you know, or put some solar panels.
You wouldn't be going far with it.
You're not going hardly anywhere.
You're up to the mailbox and back.
Or to the gardens, or to the bees, or yeah.
And they don't go very fast.
Yeah. K-Monk says, takes too many BTUS or kilowatt hours to manufacture any green. Yeah, none of that's good. Even in wind turbines today, or even in solar for that matter, you know, it's really not very scalable. It's great for a single home. But, you know, battery storage and all of those kind of things, it's from a carbon footprint perspective, it's not worth it. And that would mean they already have done it for years, I think, Johnny. They never come out with something without already having it in play. I agree with that. Haven't seen elsewhere, but one channel said Elon Musk, has said they can start microchipping now. Haven't seen or heard anywhere else. Yeah, I am. They are not microchipping me. I can tell you that. Our government is talking fusion energy lately. Yeah. Well, I think science is a wonderful thing. As we progressed, you talk about fusion energy. If we could find a way to have clean energy that would power everything, wonderful. Problem is that they're not. You remember the movie The Saint? You watched that before, and she was trying to give fusion energy to the world.
Yes.
I dream of that, but the problem is it won't be that. It will be the Russian drug lord that gets it, right? And then takes advantage of everybody else. Coal is too BTU rich to live up. It says I've up, but I'm assuming he means live. What do you think about Kid Rock? I like Kid Rock, Nicole. I have not done. I don't know a lot about him other than what you see on TV, which maybe that's my problem. But
has something just happened? I don't.
He seems to be a patriot. Seems to love We the People. Right? Had that new song come out, We the People. What I know of him, I don't have any problem with him. Musk meets much of the criteria of the Antichrist, and sorry, something about how he looks is just weird. See Amelia. Let me see here. Oh, they're talking about microchipping. Yep. Okay. Let us not forget his Halloween costume with the Baphomet on the chest. Yeah, there was a big old deal about that too, wasn't there? It's interesting, Rain Country. I'm really going to look at that a lot closer. I do a lot of the, Star of the Beast kind of stuff, but that's a really fascinating theory. We've talked a lot lately, like about Bitcoin being planted and a lot of this stuff, but that's really cool. My son has me listening to Tom McDonald, says Tamarack. Ghetto yes from the very weirdest part too, or the wettest part, weirdest. It might be the weirdest and wettest. Micro Cogin, please now. Yeah, think mopey, sparkly vampires. Okay, cool. Born and raised here in Oregon. I really do know how to spell, but between my tiny screen, outdated phone, and bad eyesight, chat is a challenge. Yeah. Tag, as you know, I've been off grid for a long time, and the more I study, the more I think we are missing the boat on power storage. Bulk heat storage is looking like the answer. Big Kid, I know you're working on that project with a thermal generator and thermal storage, which I'm really interested in as well. I don't know how practical it is or how scalable it is. All of the thermal heat generators like that I have seen are very low wattage. They're putting out 100 watts, 200 watts, 300 watts, which would not be scalable for a farm. Because if B's stove, for an example, your stove, let's say your stove would put out 200 watts of power. That would be okay to supplement a system, right? To bring in overnight.
Not amps. You're talking about
watts. But you would never bring in enough power to power our living here.
Watts is
you'll never
not
bring in
much.
enough. No, so I could be wrong, Big Kid, and I think you'd be much better to talk about that than I would be. And Big Kid, I'm telling you, if you want to do it, I'll put you on the show. We can talk about it, and maybe you can educate all of us. But from what I understand, it's not very scalable. I could be wrong. Nicole says, We the People, 1776. Yep. But they are watts continuous, not just 8 hours a day. Yeah, but I don't think 200 watts of power, like in the example that I was giving earlier, I don't know if 200 watts of power continuous for 24 hours a day, that's not enough power for me. I'm on an average moment, I'm burning 600, 650 watts of power just living life on a normal basis. I don't think that would be enough.
No, we have everything turned off because our numbers are sometimes down in like 90.
Well, yeah.
If all the freezers are not kicked on,
Right.
But then when a freezer kicks on or a
Right.
refrigerator kicks on, then
Right.
we average about 200 watts.
Well, we do right now, but it's because we've been conserving energy because we've been in this mode
we
of
have a bunch of
overcast.
stuff turned off.
What I'm talking about is if
Yes,
we're living a
okay.
normal life, we're burning 600 or 700 watts of power
In the summertime.
any given time. Well, that's even more when the air conditioners pop on.
Well,
right?
I'm just talking about without the air conditioners on, but with all of the batteries
Yeah.
in the shop
Yeah.
kind of plugged in and not charging, but the chargers plugged in and all of the breakers on.
Right.
Yeah.
Rain Country says, we do live in the twilight zone. Yeah, so weird, especially the twilight tourist. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Big Kid says, think dedicated system with 1,000 to 5,000 watts. So that would produce enough power. But here's my other counter, Big Kid. I got a counter argument for you here. The other thing about the heat, right, is that I would assume you're using wood to generate that heat. So that means your input to create that power is a manual input versus solar, which you're collecting the energy from the sun. You're not cutting a tree down for it. And so I'd be interested to hear your take about that. Now, I know there's been some other talks about taking the excess runoff for solar and using that excess runoff to charge your thermal batteries, right? Your hot water storage, and then let that excess energy charge the batteries.
You talk about the stuff that we dump.
I'm talking about the stuff that we dump.
We don't
Yeah.
get a chance to use
Yeah.
when we're in high sun.
Yeah. Richard Hake says clean energy exists. I have firsthand experience with it, and the government will not allow it to come out. I know this. I absolutely know this. Let me see, or in my case, 300 to 500 watts is big kid. A lot of authors have been friends with for 20 plus year internet groups and Facebook have said their publishers tell a direction to start writing in no matter popularity. I don't understand. Publishers tell a direction to start writing in no matter popularity. What do you think about the latest Project Veritas video? I don't know that I've seen it. How long ago? Which one? I haven't seen one in a little while. So
Have you watched a lot of them?
maybe I have not gotten much. The last couple months I've been swamped.
Yeah.
So I have not had a lot of time.
Is that on YouTube or where would that be?
You'll find it on YouTube.
Okay.
Solar, wood, and wind can all three be used in a single unit. Yeah, if you could use your dumped power to do it, that would be super interesting.
To charge something else?
Yeah, but I think Big Kid, my question would be is if you're just dumping the energy to heat water, for example, why could we not dump the energy to a supercapacitor or a series of supercapacitors that would then hold that power and release it at night and recharge the batteries or something along those lines?
That'd be cool.
Yeah, Curtis Stone has a series of videos on his solar setup on his channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deborah's Curtis Stone and my system are fairly similar.
Yeah.
Um,
He has some Snyder,
yeah,
doesn't he?
yeah, he
His
has
batteries are not simplified. Though.
No, but he has the same
But
equipment we do.
Yeah.
Johnny says, Nicole, we all suspected it was just nice that they finally admitted it. Yeah, I don't know that I've seen it. What will store power and never lose it? Nothing that I'm aware of. Yeah, I don't know anything that will store it indefinitely or forever. You know, I don't think so. Anyway, LJC says, Cliff High has talked about using a biodigester to create methane to run a wind turbine to generate electricity that then gets stored into batteries. Yeah. Yeah, Nicole is one heck of an interrogator. I like Nicole. I think I really like the questions, and it really gets a lot of that kind of stuff out, which I think is
They're good questions.
yeah, which is really, really good. Why don't you read that one?
Deborah O'Neill.
I'm gonna look up the thermal thing real quick.
Exactly. At Richard Hakes, they also have had a vehicle that will get over 100 miles per gallon since the late 50s, early 60s, and refused to let the public use it. A vehicle that gets 50 to 60 miles a gallon, and they won't allow them to use it.
Yeah, we've got gasoline cars will get 50 miles to the gallon now, but 100 miles a gallon would be
over
amazing.
100, yeah.
Because there's so much money in the petroleum world, you know, and the lobbying that goes on and all that. They're not going to get rid of that until there's none left to sell.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Nicole said, what do you think about what happened to Damar Hamlin? Well, everything that I've seen happened to him. What was weird is I watched the clip of it, and it really didn't seem like he got hit that hard. That was a football player. And he was
the one that had a heart attack or something. Is he the
yeah,
one that was?
Yeah, and it was kind of a minor hit.
30,
and then he hung over. But a lot of people are talking about how it's because of the vaccine. Because there's a lot of those stories about the increased risk of heart attacks and heart issues.
I know several people who were just fine before it and now have had just mysterious issues.
Yeah.
autoimmune issues to
Yeah.
the tune of one has to have a $4,000 a month shot
Mhm.
just to keep herself from breaking out into all kinds of bad things. $4,000 a month for a shot.
Yeah. Ugh.
That's a lot of money
Yeah. I'd be
that she can't live without now.
I'd be putting you down.
Mm. You'd be making your own squash soup then.
Thank you. You threaten me with tiramisu. Don't threaten me with the squash. You'll be on your own there.
Or you could just starve.
Big Kid says, Tag, you need tons of sand or gravel and you heat it with wind, solar, wood, or whatever excess you may have, then bleed heat or power as needed. See, by direction, they mean more sex, male, female, 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 male, male, and more than one partner, more foul language, no religion, more religion, by popularity, some names that you would recognize in general conversation. Yeah, and Amelia, why do you think that is? Why do you think they do more and more of this minority group? And I think it's to create divide. And some people will fall for it and some people won't. You know, the protests and riots have started tonight. Since the release of that footage, I just wish the right people were out there protesting. Yeah, I'm pretty anti-protesting. Ghetto, I don't know if you ever heard me speak about this, but I think when we go protest, I think what it does is it validates our system works.
Mm-hmm.
And so then the politicians say, see, you have free speech. We let you protest. And then they don't do anything about it. Now, you could convince me that the 6 million man march on the Capitol building, maybe, would do something. But 300 people marching to their Capitol building in a local county to protest something is doing nothing except strengthening the system, because now they can say, see, the system works. Let me see. Richard says, I talked to a man who had invented a 100 mile per gallon carburetor in the 60s. I've heard of this. I don't know if it was this guy, but I've heard of such a thing. When will Congress pay back? Tom says, when will Congress pay back the IOU for the Social Security account for the billions of dollars? Never. What they're going to do, Tom, is they're just going to keep printing it until there's nothing left. And then they're going to come out with a big scare that says, like Nixon did, right? Nixon said that, he was going to protect the dollar against the speculators and removed it from the gold standard.
Oh.
And then they're going to say they're going to protect the dollar from the terrorists and they're going to remove it and make it a digital dollar. And then they're going to say, we're going to take away the dollar completely for national security reasons, right? Because they've inflated it completely away. So the answer is never. Good night,
but
Jules.
Good news for you.
Yeah. Joan Harris says, I lost my stepdad in July of 2021 due to the shot. Yeah, Joan, I lost my dad in February of last year. Almost a year ago. In a few days here, it'll be a year that he's been gone. And right there just proves the purpose of the jab, makes even more clients and lots of money. Amen. Yeah. Yep.
And if the crazy thing is like a couple of them, like the $4,000 shot doesn't think that it's because of she just doesn't know why.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. Just all of a sudden, I just started being basically allergic to herself and needing these injections.
She's never, but babe, here's the thing. Most people are incapable of admitting they made a bad decision. So the last thing they'll blame is their decision. It will be something else, right?
It'll be just mysterious.
Yeah.
And this ailment could possibly go away, but it will be a 10-year battle. Mm-hmm. Is what she was told. Yeah. I'm like, wow.
Big Kid's working on a prototype, which I'd like to see. Richard says, Tag, have you heard about the load diversion for solar? Yeah. So, Richard, I have a very good friend of mine who has a double PhD, one in physics and one in electrical engineering. And very, very smart guy, actually from Bulgaria. And I hang out with him at least once or twice every single week. And I've heard about all kinds of things, to include what you're talking about right there. We were just having this conversation about the dump of solar panels just the other day. Protests are peaceful so far. That's good. Although they won't accomplish anything. Makes us more accepting of the crap that is going on. Okay. Remember, I was asking Amelia, why does she think that is? The change in moral values and morals that most of us, our generation, have grown up with. I see this with my great nieces and nephews. Yeah. And so they're numbing us down, right? Because the more crazy they make the stories out there, then the less stuff seems like less, right?
And there's some doozies.
Yeah. Yeah. A talk show host that used to stay in trouble said, watch the movies. For some reason, they seem to know what's coming long before the rest of us do. There's actually some truth in that, too. What was you watching the other night that was making you go, remember the
Stay Alive?
The teenagers who were chasing that comic book at the end of the world?
Yeah, Stay Alive, something hide.
That wasn't what it was called.
Utopia. Yeah, Stay Alive.
Yeah, so she was watching this series called Utopia on Amazon Prime, and it's about the end of the world, and it's about these kids chasing all of this stuff. But man, they were kind of going down.
They were like, "Give us the vaccine.
Yeah.
We want it.
Yeah.
Let us have it."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this was absolutely crazy. Okay, Rain Country says because they have to admit that they have been lied to, and everyone here, I am sure, can admit what a difficult pill that is to swallow. Yep. But we all wake up. I mean, you guys have heard me say on my show on numerous times and on other interviews. I mean, just yesterday I was on an interview and I said I was a coward. I was a coward for hiding for all of those years and for letting the system do it to not just me, but to my employees. And I didn't stand up. There came a time where I did.
Well, you believed.
Yep. But there came a time for me. So the moral of the story is I think it's okay to say you're wrong. It's okay to say, hey, I screwed up. What do I do now? But to Rain Country's point, most people won't do that. Chris White says another football player just dropped. I did not hear that.
Oh.
El Salvador is the first country to make BTC, Bitcoin, a legal tender, just paid off an $800 million loan with interest from the Rothschilds IMF. Interesting. The cardiac arrest was because he was hit perfectly in the chest position and electrical impulse conduction through the heart to cause the arrest. He was shocked back into rhythm while still on the field. Yeah, Amy, I watched that video and it would have had to just been the perfect hit because it didn't look like to me he was hit very hard.
What she's saying was it was just a
perfect
storm.
Yeah.
For him.
Let me see. B, have you started any seeds yet?
No.
You plan to anytime soon?
I don't know.
Because you could.
I could.
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't. I've got some potato seeds. I've gone through the buckets of what I had from this last year that I'm still going to eat. And then this ones that I'm going to try to plant. I've got like every windowsill in the house covered with avocado trees. One of them is going to make it. I guess I need two, right? One is none. I would like to. I just haven't really. I've been sanding and ironing and hauling in wood. We're supposed to get 3 days. Like the temperature, the low is supposed to be like 6 degrees, which means that I need to bring more wood in because I don't want to do it when it's that cold.
Yep.
So no. I could totally go out in the greenhouse and plant some stuff. I still have mullein green in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
There's something else in there. Oh, silverweed,
mullein. You got grapes growing in there. You got
not the grapes they're not green.
Okay, so they've died back.
Well, I don't know if it's but the mullein is green. There's what did we get? What does Billy sell? Comfrey that is green still in the greenhouse. But I was surprised that those herbs still. I didn't know that they would do that.
Drummondson Live says, I looked at the medical reasoning for all the sudden death of the young people, and they are saying due to poor lifestyle choices. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Did they say that before or after 14 days to flatten the curve? Just curious. I just have a hard time believing anything they say. And it's so bad because you want to look up to those professions and you want to say, hey, this doctor's smart. It's a doctor. And this, lawyer's smart. They understand law. And, this politician is there to help the people and to, be a voice. And you want to say those things. And that business owner, is there to, make a buck, but also to employ people and also to, help people. And you want to say those things, but I just don't see much of that in the world anymore,
Yeah.
Joan Harris says, Tag, I heard your story. Sorry for your loss. I was able to be there when he passed. My sis, no, because she couldn't afford a negative PCR test. I was able to get the test through the VA. Yeah, it was really, really hard for me because, my dad died alone.
And that sucks.
Yeah. And that really, really sucks. And, I remember it's very vivid in my brain the last time we FaceTimed him, right before they intubated him. And, we were just talking on the FaceTime, and he was saying hi and, all of this stuff. And
he actually brought a tear to my eye. He actually said, love ya.
Yeah.
And he never said that.
Yeah.
He never said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Nicole says that cul-de-sac that she's not a troll, that she just is generally curious. I actually think this is great. I love this kind of, conversations, and, we don't all agree, but that's okay. I mean, that's one of my favorite things about this community. I don't know if you guys notice or not, or you pay attention, but I pay very close attention. When we start these lives and everybody gets on, everyone's like, hey, how's it going? And, Mandy says hi to cul-de-sac, and, Ghetto says hi to Big Kid. And, like this is a really good community. We don't always agree, and that's cool. I don't hate anybody for it, but, so no, Nicole, I didn't take any of your questions as a troll, not at all. Keep them coming. And I'm happy to answer any of them. It don't mean I'm right. It just means it's what I think, right? Mandy Garrett says the movie Megan, the AI was scary to her. I've never seen that movie.
Have you heard of Megan?
Yep. Nope.
We'll look it up, though, because there's always a time where we're kind of looking for something.
Ghetto says the original came out in the UK in 2015. The disclaimers on each episode should be a warning flag for everyone.
So I saw that there was another one, but the one that we watched only had like 2 seasons, but the UK one has like 5 or 6 seasons of Utopia. So remember how you were like, "That's it? That's the end?"
Yeah.
No, there's more, but we just don't get it. And I mean, you could pay for it, but why would we do that?
Have you seen Songbird? It's a movie about the latest thing going around. No. I have not.
I wonder what the newest thing is.
Now, B and I, when we go to bed at night, we typically watch a movie for,
20 minutes.
I watch it for 20 minutes. You watch it for 20 seconds.
I go right to sleep. And then I get up, sometimes and watch something.
Yeah. Amelia says Billy Jack movie brought stuff out before it was brought out to the general public. They had to go before the U.S. committee to say where they got their info. Never heard the outcome. Big Kid says, I think for higher dump loads, the better price would be to stick with a water heater element. Let me see. I can't believe that. Yeah. Let me see the getaway. We see if I can find the newspaper article on the 100 mile per gallon carburetor and send you a copy along with info on the load diversion kit I have. Yeah, I'd be interested in that.
Yeah.
Nicole says, how often do you go live? So Nicole, we go live every Friday night at 7:00. Just every Friday night. And then sometimes there's an oddball one in there, like Monday, I'm going to go live with Tia to talk about creating the counterculture and the counter society and the convention that's going on in Georgia, and then her thing. But we are always live Friday night at 7:00. Unless
we have
there's something else going on, right?
Like which February 17th is a Friday, I think, and we won't be able to do that day.
But we'll do it Thursday.
Have to pick
we'll do it Thursday.
Thursday or
We'll do it the day before. Yeah. We'll get a notice out there though, guys. Let me see here. Oh my goodness. Chris White, let me see. NFL Chargers. So one of the Chargers players fell?
Yeah. What was this guy?
Yeah, I don't know. K-Bonk says, dude, Tag, I'm sorry. I spent 8 months with my dad before he passed. So valuable to me. Yeah, Okay, Mark, I can't tell you how much it hurts, that, and, my dad, we had, as you guys know, and I've kind of touched on this a little bit. My dad was gone early in my life, and I was 13 when he left. And, but we got back together when I was, in my mid 20s, and I got to know him a little bit better. And he really turned out to be a really great old guy. And he, tried to apologize a lot for the things that went on and he worked himself to death, and then the VA took his life. And that's how I feel about it. And,
He did work himself a lot.
yeah. And there's a whole story there too that, maybe someday I'll get into, but yeah, it's pretty sad, and congratulations to you to have that 8 months before, before your dad passed. Tamarack says, I lost my soulmate at the beginning of the lockdowns in 2020. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, Tamarack. I really am. I've told B this a whole bunch of times. I pray that I go first. I don't want to know this world without my wife. I don't want to know it, because I will be a mess. And how selfish is that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I should be wishing you die first. No, seriously, isn't that the most compassionate thing to do?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that weird?
That is, yes.
It's kind of weird to say that.
But when you don't think about it, you don't talk about it, you get in situations like my parents where you're like, crap, now what?
Yeah.
We don't have plans for any of that.
Yeah. Yeah. But man, you just do so much. You carry such a load here. And my heart would be crushed, and then I'd never eat. And
you would eat lettuce omelets.
Yeah, I might need a lettuce omelet, but I damn sure ain't eating any squash.
Well,
or tiramisu. Right?
Well, the tiramisu I got from the bakery, so yeah,
okay, I
you
probably
would get
echoed
that.
Yeah. Well, because I wouldn't be able to manage my money, so I wouldn't have any.
Right.
Right.
I'll write it all down.
Yeah. Tag, you're in the know about building things, so you'll understand this, but a person would probably need 1/2 to 1 ton of mass for every 100 square feet. Yeah. And then the thing is that's not, I would have a lot of questions, Big Kid, but as you come out and you bring out your prototype, I would love to see, how it performs and what it's producing and all of those kind of things. Cause I think there's some challenges in that, but I'm super interested. Let me see. Peaceful Resistance says, my perfectly healthy 5-year-old great nephew died. Oh my gosh. Of a fast growing blood cancer a couple months after his booster shot. No family history of cancer. Oh, I don't even know what to say. Except I have no problems.
I'm sorry.
A little 5-year-old, little young man who had his whole life in front of him. Man, none of us have any problems. We all need to stop complaining.
Yeah.
We have no problems, right? Peaceful Resistance. I'm so sorry. There's nothing you can even say, ERGA says, I recently became aware of labeling of foods contains a bioengineered food.
Oh yeah.
There's
all over the place.
There's a lot of stuff they're putting in your food. What's that one chemical? They should research what was it called?
HEK 123 or something. 129.
Look it up. I want you guys to research something. Okay. And I won't tell you what it is. I'll just let you research it. My dad's friend had that 100-mile-per-hour car. It was mistakenly allowed out of the factory and sold on the lot. Really interesting. Hey, LJC, you still with us? You're such a trooper.
HEK 293.
Okay, so I want you guys to Google, anybody who's interested, Google HEK 293. And I'll let you come to your own conclusion. There are now ICD codes in use to specify whether patients are fully COVID jabbed, partially jabbed, not up to date on all vax. So if a doctor asks you your vax status, you may want to be careful. Ugh. What is your take on ChatGPT, the new artificial intelligence chatbot? I'm not up to speed on it, Mandy. Nicole Sauce, John Willis, and Gordon talk about it on her Tuesday Live. I think, yeah, I'm not up to speed with it, but if someone wants to comment on it, oh my goodness, right on by. Chris White says, Jesse, I'm going to look at that real quick. I want to see. Now, what happened? Yeah, it's popped right up. NFL player Justin Timberlake dies 25 while expecting child with girlfriend gone too soon. Really? I had not seen that yet.
When was that?
This was 12 hours ago.
Oh gosh.
Wow, I didn't know that. I had no problem.
Wow,
Says,
his birthday's like on Tuesday.
yeah. Cul-de-sac says, I had no problem with the discussion. It was just the rapid questions after question made me suspicious. Well, you know what, Cul-de-sac, first of all, thank you for sticking up for me. But yeah, no, it was super cool. I don't mind all the questions. Nowhere, good night to you. Yeah, yoke up and live. Amen. Yeah, 26 years old. So sad. I lost my dad when I was 16. Quit school to take care of him. It was hard. Yeah, that's unfair.
Yeah.
So with all these people dropping, what is going to happen to our military who were forced to get shot? Well, not all of them were. You know, there were some of them that held on, and they've kind of begun to change some of that policy, I think. But yeah, this is a bad thing, right? Especially in a stressful. I really hope they get to the bottom of it. You know, there's a lot of speculation, but I have not seen anything that's, you know, conclusive about it either way. David and I talk about what if Potpourri for Life is here, by the way, my video with Potpourri for Life, I did an interview with her, comes out this next week.
A couple days ago.
Monday, maybe? No, Wednesday. One of these days, this coming up this next week. And it was a really cool interview about taking, you know, responsibility for your health. But anyway, Potpourri for Life says, David and I talk about what if, but I think that is talking. We will hopefully be strong when the time comes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Join here. No tag. Tiramisu would be tear in my soup. You guys are so funny. You think you're funny.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. No.
You're a smart one.
Yeah.
She's
no.
quick on her toes.
Yep. My older daughter fell for the BS and took the jab. She just had surgery for thyroid cancer. There's no history of any kind of cancer on either side of the family. The Tamarack says Fucci needs punishment. Now that I agree with. Yes, that is human embryonic kidney. That is what HEK stands for. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know the uses for HEK or human embryonic kidney, right? So this is aborted baby parts. But you guys go research it. But they put it in all kinds of stuff. Enjoy your Pepsi.
Is it Pepsi? Is it Coke?
Yeah, it's all kinds of stuff. Yeah. For every celebrity that drops from this, there are hundreds of ordinary folks that drop from it too. Yeah, I'm probably not hearing about it, you know?
Well, yeah.
Let me see. Amelia says, if you go to the doctor without J86 and refuse, make sure when you refuse one, do not allow them to code you for re-education on it. I just saw a visiting PA and have been getting calls from the CDC since.
Wow.
Yeah, Cul-de-sac says his dad's still sick with pneumonia and it's now been a month. Oh, let's send out prayers for Cul-de-sac's dad. I forgot about that. We did that before, but let's do that again.
Yeah.
Yep, immortalized human embryonic kidney cells. Yep, that's why I cook from scratch, Heidi. Yep, amen. They write things in your records that you aren't privy to. Even if you get your records, they don't give them all to you. Of course they don't. They are putting, Love Runs Rampant says they are putting HEK 293 in food. What? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They're 99% of the people who are in this live tonight have eaten aborted baby stuff. You
Kidneys.
know, yeah, in this week probably. Just look. All you got to do is Google it. There's all kinds of stuff out there. It is just horrible. The PA said that she wouldn't eventually, but she did it when she left. If they wanted us to drop like flies, putting certain things in the water or clouds would take care of that. The arm candy was about control and who would bow down. I actually agree with that. Yeah. Also known as Cenomix. Yeah, they renamed the HK 293 food enhancer, and now a foreign country is marking it under a different name. It's still out there. Also, there are nanoparticles to make food crunchy.
Yeah. Yes.
Not saying it doesn't have bad stuff in it. I just don't think God has allowed them to take us all out at once. Well, I think there's going to come a time pretty quick where we're going to have to take a stand, guys. And I'm not talking about violence, so don't anybody go there. You know, I'm not YouTube piss off. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is say no more.
Yeah.
And to go into your, your school boards and say no, and go into your county commissioner's office and say no. Right.
And vote with your dollar.
And vote with your dollar. If you walk into a place and they want you to do something you don't want to do, vote with your dollar. Right. And decide where, and guys, I'm telling you, and you can ask me about this. I've spent some time really trying to understand where the dollars go and make sure that I'm spending it the right place. This is why I'm researching Tractor Supply right now, because I really want to know what happened. And you can, the event happened in Waco, and the Tractor Supply said, we don't support this. Basically, it was their response that, we don't support activities like this. But if you dig into the board, you can really look at what companies they belong to, where they took their stand at. So here's something I found real interesting. They made this big push last year about we're going to support small farmers. And so they donated $125,000 in $5,000 grants to all of these small farms, particularly Black and women-owned farms. Fine. And they spread this around. But did you know that they donated 10 times that to the political parties? Now, their advertising campaign said small farmers, but their dollars said political action committees. I found that fascinating. All right, where are we at here? Chiochi, hey, hello. I read today that frozen pizza will start to have crushed, dried bugs on it. So gross.
Oh, the FDA allows so many bugs in, canned mushrooms or cinnamon.
Yep. Well, but here's the thing, babe, is that there's a big push by the world right now to start replacing some of the protein wheat with bug protein.
Oh,
there's a big push for it.
There's all kinds of, I saw at Walmart, there was some kind of new aged meat package.
Mm-hmm.
And it was called something like new aged meat. It was like, well, I don't even want to look at that.
Yeah. Dolores, good evening to you. I'm glad you're listening. A foreign company, sheesh, I'm tired and should stop chatting. Amelia says, you might check out Dr. Brian Artis. I know him, actually. I met him.
Yep.
I met him. I went
Texas?
No, in Kentucky. Right. I went down and did a We the People rally with Tom Holman, and as part of his camp, and went down there, and I met him when I was down there. I know exactly who you're talking about. Let me see here. Ghetto says the time to take a stand was in our grandparents' generations. We are far deep into it now. It's time for defense now. Well, but I think we've been in defense, Ghetto, for a long, long time, right? I mean, I hid from a long time in defense. I mean, it depends on what your definition of that world is. I think it's time to go on the offense, on the civil disobedience offense. Silver Thread, what a great question. Is this ungovernable score available for our use? And if so, where? Yeah, so actually I am this next week, there's a video coming out. So first of all, for those of you who subscribe to my other channel, Ungovernable, it's coming out on Saturday. And for those who are subscribed on Life Done Free, it comes out Wednesday or Friday next week, something. But anyway, I go through the calculator. I show me doing it, putting numbers in and how it all calculates and how it spits out. And so if after watching it, if you guys are interested, Silver Thread, or anybody, if you email me, I'll send you the calculator free of charge. Don't need anything from it. I hope it helps you make you free. It's complex, right? There's a lot of pieces to it, and it's not done. And so if you guys look at it and you guys want to make some adjustments to it, or you say, hey, what about this? I would be super open to changing it and continuing to adapt it, because it's something that I adapt ourselves, kind of as we go on.
Yeah.
Let me see. Where are we at here? Terminator, good night to you. LJC says the arm candy was about who would bow down. The IDC codes make it easy to pull the names and info of those who didn't and put them in a database, as Amelia and PDX discovered. Yes. Yeah. I agree with Ghetto. It started back when our ancestors came to the U.S. Yeah. Let me see. It used to be in the Campbell soup, snack foods, lots of things. Oh, I couldn't believe the list of the things that was in. Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. Mandy says reminds her of the movie Soylent Green. I watched that. You fell asleep. Yeah. I don't think you made that whole movie.
No, I didn't. I didn't even watch the first 10 minutes.
That's my bride.
It started very slowly.
Yeah, that's my bride. My dad was in Florida at the time, Deborah says. The guy never let anyone mess with the carburetor when he took it in for service. Chochi, they believe the American dream so much that they fell asleep to get those dreams. And now most of our country is still asleep, unfortunately. And most of them will continue to be asleep, in my opinion. All right, let me get to the rest of this stuff here because we are closing in. Oh, we're at 3 hours. Okay, let me make sure there's anything else here. I'm going to, again, Next Step Conference on Monday. I will have Tia from the Next Step Convention, which, again, it's just about creating the counter society. I'll have her on Monday on the live. Guys, you guys come in. Anybody who can make it, come in.
Ask questions.
Yeah, ask questions. But more importantly than that, let's encourage Tia to continue to be in the fight.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing we can do here, because we need a lot of warriors out there, guys. And the more people that are actually actively fighting it every single day, the better this is for all of us. So let's go through and encourage her. At the end of March, I will be at the Self-Reliance Festival in Camden, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak about off-grid living and some of the challenges of living off-grid. Then the Midwest Preparedness Project at the end of April, I'll be there. Although I don't think I'm speaking unless they dump something on me, which would not be unlike Data and Spags to do that to me. But that'll be there. The 12th of February, we have another community event coming up, a big potluck. So we'll be doing that. Hitches. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll be doing that. But here's the other cool thing is I got the first draft of the newsletter that we're going to use in our community coming out. And if you guys would like me to share it through one of my videos, I'll be happy to share it. But we're actually building our first community newsletter that'll go out only by email. And, I wouldn't be opposed to sharing it with some of you people if you're interested. But anyway, we're working on formatting all of that. So I was really excited to get that. We have a community member here in our area who's volunteered to do the newsletter on a quarterly basis. And it'll be very regional based, but I think it's really exciting and another great way to communicate. We haven't figured out a name, though. So if anybody
for the
newsletter. So if anybody has a great idea of what would a prepping, homesteading, freesteading, living off grid, starve the beast newsletter, what would it be called? Right? My email, so you guys know, is tag the letter NB. So tag NB at lifedonefree.com. I was just on the Mark Baker Anyone Can Farm Experience podcast. So if you guys want to go watch that, you're welcome to. I have my interview with Potpourri for Life coming out next week and the UGS calculator coming out next week. We talked about me getting yelled at for getting mad at Republicans.
Did you?
Yeah. And I think cool. I'm through most of it. Cool. What do you think? Okay, where are we at here? Let me see here.
It's people.
Dumbing down began with the antidepressant use. Yeah, I actually think there's a lot of truth in this.
Oh.
A lot of truth in this. They say you are what you eat. Does that mean we are going to mutate into a bug? Ooh, I might turn into tiramisu. Nowhere near there yet. Still working on a small prototype. Okay, yep. Yes, offense. Opt out. Yep, opt out, guys, is critical. Critical. And we all can do it. You don't have to have a homestead to do it. You can live in an apartment and do it. And I think one of the changes we need to make on freesteading is make sure we have an apartment stead or a urban stead section so people, can learn from each other in that environment as well.
And there are a lot of mistakes that are made. So
yes, there is.
We can learn from one another. It would save a lot of us some time.
Yeah, K-Bonk says, fun first time live. Well, we're super happy you were here. Yeah, Tamarack, I'm glad you like the clan. We're an interesting bunch of people. But guys, these Tamarack, it's you guys that make this live so cool. I mean, I'm telling you, we laugh and joke every single night.
Yeah.
And we make fun of the callus next to me or the blister who's on here, or the gnome gangs. And it's a lot of fun. Forge a new path. Yep, for sure. Or rather newsletter.
For the newsletter.
Okay. Early American Life. Yep. Free Thoughts newsletter. I like Free Thoughts. Saw that. It was great. Love runs rampant. Yep. Seeds newsletter. Freedom News. Yep. There's my email if anybody wants it. Doing the same with biogas. Okay. I got bitten by a spider last week. Still waiting to turn into Spider Woman. Oh, you got to videotape that, Mandy.
Where's your newsletter? Where's your email?
She put it. Oh, she retracted it. It might have been typed in the wrong. I don't know, but
name
it Real Freedom. Yep. I'm very excited about. I wonder,
Gnome steading. Do it.
gnome. Did somebody say gnome
Gnome
steading?
steading. That's what Rain Country said
Oh.
earlier.
Yeah, I'm excited about focusing on our community. So JB said, I heard of one sold in Kansas years ago that got high miles per gallon. They finally convinced the guy to sell it back. Let me see. Join here says, or the Stirs, i.e. Rickster. Oh, in the North Country of Philadelphia. Ha ha ha, lost town. Yep. All right, guys. We're 3 hours and 9 minutes. Hey, thank you guys for all you do, and thank you for motivating me. We're living in interesting times, and as we've talked about many times tonight, it's time for us to stand up. It's time for us to say no, and there is nothing wrong, and there is nothing illegal, and there is nothing wrong, any of that, standing your ground and walking into the school board and saying no, and holding them accountable to what they said, or walking into your county commissioner office and saying no, and choosing where you vote with your dollar. Right? Do you know where your money's spent? Do you care? People often say to me, hey, I can't afford the American tomato. It's $1.50 when I can buy the Mexican tomato for $1. At the end of the day, guys, I promise you the $1.50 tomato is cheaper. The cost that it is for us as time wears on, and the cost that we're giving off to our children and to our grandchildren will far exceed the 50 cents you just bought. I promise you this is true. It's time for us together to take a stand, and we need to do it, all of us, all at one time. You don't have to be vocal like me. You can simply just vote with your dollar, right? You can simply just choose where your business is. You can do business with like-minded people. So, I challenge you guys, go out there and do something about it. Do something about it. Don't sit behind the scenes and be a coward for 20 years like I was. Today's the day to stand up. Today's the day to be educated, as Richard said, right? Today's the day.
Today's the day.
So as I always tell you guys, go live a little bit freer today than you did yesterday. Hold the line. Don't give an inch. What do you have to say tonight, Pumpkin? Blah, 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 blah.
Today's the day. Today's the day.
Yeah. Squash soup for a week.
Yeah.
No.
Just one step at a time. I know that it's hard, and I know that there's a lot. Doing all of it for yourself, that's a lot, and it can be overwhelming. So do just a little bit every day. Like you say, go live a little bit freer today than you did yesterday. Just one bite at a time. Yep.
And last words, as Rain Country said in our chat, and do not forget this wonderful little thing called civil disobedience. So on that topic, we're out. See you all everybody later. Good night.
Good night. Be out.